Welcome to the club.
My club are mental, aren't they?
21 is coming. You're chatting gas. Embarrassing. Off, ref!
Most toxic fan base in the world are Arsenal.
Liverpool, the worst champions ever.
Welcome back to the club, brought to you by Super 6. It's our second stream of the day, City versus Newcastle. We've just seen Spurs smash Man United. I'm loving life. Good to see you, lads.
Feeling
How you
confident?
doing? Yeah, of course. We're at home. St. James's Park is a different story. We struggled there last season. But at home, anything can happen.
Have you seen the record? Do you know the last time that they beat you at your home ground? Do you know when it was?
What, over 10 years ago?
2000.
Wow.
2000. You're looking at Brangelina. You're looking at Snake on a phone.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nokias and all that.
Yeah.
Snake was
You're
good
looking
on
at
a phone.
Bryan Adams, #1 in the charts.
What song?
I Believe I Can Fly.
Therefore, not Brian.
No, that's how long ago it was, though. Snake on a phone and Brangelina, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What tune was Bryan Adams?
Bryan Adams was Everything I Do It For You.
Oh, banger.
Yeah.
From Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, Robin Hood.
We are joined today by the one and only Miles from Filthy Fellas. Thank you very much to Miles,
Come on, Miles. Thank
for
you very
joining
much.
us. One of our first guests on the channel, and you're now into your second season on here as well. Thank you for coming and welcome.
Thanks for having me, boys. You forgot my AKAs though, Adam.
AKA?
Wiles,
AKA?
the best looking guy on YouTube.
That one's debatable.
We're always looking
Yeah,
nervous.
see, I always look at someone. He hasn't heard it, so I always want to see his reaction.
No, like, I would have said second after Buvey.
Oh, Buvey can't get in that club. No pun intended. Yeah, boys, thanks for having me, man. It's
No,
always a
mate,
pleasure,
thank
man.
you. Thank you for coming on. What do you reckon today? Do you think Manchester City preserved their ridiculous record against Newcastle? Mate, do you know the last time they won? You're looking at the Man City team. You're looking at Haaland's dad and George Weah.
Wow.
That's the last time that City
George Weah.
were beaten by Newcastle. Georgie Weah and Haaland,
Listen,
senior.
George Weah got dropped by Joe Roy. He said, "What am I doing here in the old Manchester City training ground? It was falling apart, rust everywhere," and he left.
You forget George Weah at City. You know when they do those forgettable players,
Yeah.
like
Did he go
Idiger
Chelsea
Johnson at
after?
Tottenham.
Was it after?
Chelsea first.
Chelsea first came to City.
It's
Then
quite
he went
good for us.
He went somewhere crazy after that. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I think Tottenham. What am I talking about? I'm sorry, Adam.
Don't bring up Tottenham. We're not here to talk about Tottenham. What do we think of Tottenham? Yeah, I'm on my own. But yeah, we're not here to talk about
I
Tottenham.
think Newcastle, if they could keep it tight, I think they could get a result today, because they're buzzing off their last result, obviously, and they played well.
they're
That
amazing.
result, though, like as big as that was, don't get me wrong, it's a very significant result, and I appreciate the performance and the significance of getting that not only the 3 points but scoring those 5 goals, glorious goals, some of them. But it was an awful. It wasn't 5-1 is a thrashing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a
of course.
one-sided, but the game wasn't that. I think it was slightly misleading. Like the scoreline is slightly misleading. I don't think Newcastle were quite as good as 5-1 suggests.
Yeah, because it was in the balance for quite a long time, innit? It was 1-0 for quite some time, but obviously, I think that's down to Emery, man, and that's the reason why I don't want to bring it back to my team, Arsenal, but that's the reason why I didn't like him at our club, because if it doesn't go one way, he doesn't change it. He fights
Too
fire
negative.
with fire. He's like, okay, you'll score, we score, you try score, we try score, and then Newcastle just dispatched them. But you got to do what you got to do at the end of the day, Rory. Goal difference, everything counts.
This Newcastle team, it's got to be the best Newcastle squad. Certainly Premier League era.
It's getting close. It's getting close.
Got to be.
As a total squad, it is.
Wait, it's got to be. What are you thinking?
They're
The
a
Bobby
team that
Robson team?
Yeah.
Or the
Keegan
team before
the
it?
Robson team.
There were gaps in
They've
those
had Champions
squads.
League
Yeah.
teams before.
Yeah, but there were gaps in those
There's gaps in this squad.
No, this
They're on a
squad...
crest of a wave at the moment. Everything's positive and all that, but there are big gaps in this team.
Yeah.
in
No,
this
but
Newcastle team.
the depth in this team. You know when they brought on like Anderson last week, and they brought on Longstaff. Like they're good players. I think that this squad is better than any squad that they've had in the Premier League era.
You think this 11 is better than the Shearer...
Squad.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Squad.
they've
Even
got
11.
depth, yes. They've
Like,
got
so
depth.
if you think about what would be the like crowning glory of the Newcastle in the Premier League era, would it be the Bellamy team, or would it be like the team before? Would it be Robson's
Kevin Keegan
Robson's
era.
early
Yeah.
2000 or Keegan?
Keegan.
Keegan, yeah,
When they were
sure.
challenging
This
against Man
team's
United.
better than that.
Nah,
This team's
this
better.
team ain't better than that.
This team's
It is,
better.
you know.
than
I
that.
don't think it
team's
is.
not better.
I don't think it is.
It is. What? Rob Lee or Bruno Guimaraes?
That's true. Yeah, but that's one.
Yeah, but
Even
okay.
Tonali's
Alan
in there.
Shearer or Isaac.
Or Callum Wilson.
Yeah, no, but Shearer is like the jewel in the crown on his own, isn't it? That team.
Who's the keeper for that Newcastle side? Because Pope's a
It was
good keeper.
Pavel Cernacek.
I think, what,
Pavel Cernacek, and
Cernacek was good,
then
though.
your boy, isn't it? The Man City Newcastle guy, Shea Given.
Shea Given, yeah.
In fact, you shared a lot.
What
You shared
keeper?
Keegan. You shared
Yeah,
Given.
we did, yeah.
Shared a lot.
I like Kevin Keegan. Good punch.
The one lasting memory I have of Keegan is obviously there was that love it moment, but even more so is him pissing down a rain at Wembley. Just
Well,
last
when he
week.
resigned, when he resigned in
Last
the
game.
toilet.
Last game at Wembley.
And for some
Resigned in
reason,
the toilet.
he kept touching his ear in the interview, like doing this, and that's what I can remember. It raining, and him just like
He did that a few
That's
times in his
nervous.
career. Then he just gave up.
He was
like
very
no other
emotional.
manager.
Can you name the goal scorer? Who scored
Harman.
the winner
Haman.
that day?
Didi Hamann.
Yeah,
Yeah.
former Man City player. as
The
well.
old Wembley as well, wasn't it?
And Liverpool player.
Final
International.
Yeah. Yeah.
At Wembley.
Typical.
Stadium.
Should we read out some teams? We'll start off with
Nah.
Newcastle.
I don't want to talk about.
God, look at that, Booth. Your treble.
Look at the treble.
It literally makes me feel nothing though.
You're a United fan.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
United
it
fan. I
makes
don't
me
want
You know,
to
if that was Liverpool or Arsenal,
No,
I wouldn't
you
want to
wouldn't.
see a
No, you
TV
wouldn't.
screen for
I
years.
hear what
I
you're
wish
saying.
that didn't happen.
I wish it never
I
happened.
feel
but
something
it does
here.
nothing.
I was just watching that thing. I was just watching it. I didn't think anything of it.
I feel amazing watching this. Should we do the lineups?
Go on.
Pope in goal, Trippier right back.
Hello.
We got Shah, Botman, Dan Burn. We got Bruno, Tonali, Joelinton in midfield with Almiron, Gordon, and Isaac up front.
Gordon.
And then
Nice.
we got City's Edison, Kyle Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Gvardiol, Rodrigo, Kovacic, Phil Foden in midfield with Grealish, Alvarez, and Erling Haaland.
Brilliant.
Just a quick one. Is Ryan Fraser on the?
He's not in the starting 11.
What's the Newcastle
Is he in the bench
here?
by any time?
I can't
Can
see
you
the
do
bench
the new?
in
Have you
our,
not got it? Okay.
Yeah.
I need Ryan Fraser on that
Have a look.
team.
Right. Do you rate him?
Ryan Fraser.
What is that? Is that why the Scotland?
Yeah, why are you so keen to see Ryan Fraser? Because
Why not, man?
Scottish.
If he comes on today, Adam, if he's playing and he scores
Oh,
and he gets a winner,
is he? Oh, understood.
oof,
Understood.
it's a bit of an awkward one, isn't
Was in
it?
your fancy Premier League.
Yeah, I was thinking
Nah,
that.
No,
Yeah.
he's going to do a celebration.
I don't do that.
Ryan
you know.
Fraser's not even on the bench.
He's not.
No.
Damn.
You know what Miles doesn't do fancy Premier League, but I tell you what he does do. Super 6. So join our league, Club 23. Make sure you're getting involved. The link's in the description below. Download the app. We've got over 8,000 people involved. Let's have a look at how many people are left fighting for this title. 7.
7 only.
7.
That means there's
It's
been
close.
some that's
For
some
$1 million.
incredible results. 7 people have done something amazing.
What-
They've got every prediction right up until now.
What are our score predictions for this game? Because this is a big game. It's a huge game. I kind of want no one to win now. I don't want anyone to be happy. If Newcastle win, they're going to be too happy. You can have all these idiotic Newcastle fans running about. City win, I don't want City to win.
No.
I'm going for 2-2 draw and about 6 red cards. What are you going for?
I think City will win. I think Manchester City will win the game. You've actually gone for a Man City win just to.
Yeah, but the United scores made me change my mind.
Oh yeah.
I don't want anyone to win now.
I think City will win. I think City sort of need to win, not necessarily because they need the points. I don't think the points are that essential at this point of the season. I also think it's a very good time to play City because they're always so good and their season goes so deep generally. I feel like the first few weeks of the season is when you can get at them when they look a little bit shoddy. It's almost as if they find pre-season, the beginning of the season. Remember they lost to Tottenham and things like that. So it's a good opportunity for Newcastle. But I think Man City, if it was anyone other than Newcastle, could potentially drop points. But because it's Newcastle, I think they need to make a statement. They
Yeah,
need to-
100%.
They need to make sure that Newcastle remember.
I've
the
gone a little bit
pecking
less
order.
confident than you lads for my predictions. I've gone a 3-3 draw, and that's just down to. Yeah,
I would love that because it'd
Couple of
be an
injuries to-
exciting game
Yeah.
for the show. Yeah,
we need a few games
Look
like
at the
that.
goals
don't
in
we?
that front four. Grealish, Alvarez, Foden, Haaland. That is just goals galore, isn't it?
Wow, it's
interesting.
Haaland and Alvarez's goals galore. Foden and Grealish very creative.
It'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
if Phil
Hence
Foden
goals
plays
galore.
as a midfielder. He played it
Yeah.
as a midfielder in Athens.
What did you make
on the
of
lineup-
Guardiola's performance? Because he kind of got beat for their goal, didn't he, aerially? He probably could have covered that a little bit better. What did you make of his performance?
I thought he was really, really good. He's really good on the ball, exceptional on the ball. He'll hit things first time on his left foot. And he's got physicality. And of course, there's a settling in period. He's a fantastic centre
Get
back.
beat in the air a bit too easy there?
Not for me. Not for me.
Yeah?
No.
No?
No, I think he's fantastic, lads.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And we won it. So we won a Super Cup as well. You know,
Just
fantastic.
about.
You know that don't matter, right?
Yeah, okay.
It's like
Well, it does.
charity
It
shit.
matters.
It does.
Do you know who it doesn't matter to?
That's 15 titles now that Guardiola's won at Man City.
Erling Haaland doesn't take those kind of like charity competition. He just doesn't seem to score in them.
Yeah, he didn't score in the FA Cup final, Champions League final, even in the run into the Premier League.
Charity
he slowed
Shield.
up a little bit.
Charity Shield,
Charity
even
Shield.
at the time.
Community Shield in his first one against Liverpool.
Same sentence.
Yeah. Champions League final, Charity Shield. Yeah.
You got to ask me now, Adam?
Gotta read it.
Go on. What's your prediction?
Go on.
I say 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, because
How good do you think Newcastle are,
yeah?
Miles?
I know they're very good. I don't.
Like, are they? Is them being a Champions League team? Is that like ahead of where they should be at this moment in time? Given
definitely, because nobody saw what they did last season. Nobody saw that coming to fruition and making Champions League straight off the bat. But they're here now, like you said. Like Rory said, they've got a bigger squad. They're going to need a bigger squad because they're in the Champions League now. But I don't think they've got enough to do Champions League and make top 4 at the same time. I honestly don't think they have. They'll have great nights. Don't get me wrong. They'll probably win a few Champions League games and
they'll get through their group. I think.
I think they get to the quarterfinals.
They'll have big games, but I just don't think they're in unknown territory at the moment. Obviously, their club Newcastle's been in the Champions League, but these boys are a fresh young batch of boys. So I don't know. I just don't really see them going that far. But I think they'll have a good season if that makes sense.
You know, when I was talking about the depth of this Newcastle squad, you know, when I just looked at the bench there, some really good players on that bench. Like Callum Wilson's on the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For a reason.
They've taken the best of. They've taken the best from the others. If that makes sense. They've taken the best bunch from other teams that's gone down and around them. So they've got a decent squad. They've got a decent squad.
We've got a little super chat we need to read out. Super chat, you gotta read it out. We all want Newcastle getting smashed today, right? I'm a little bit with Big Daz, you know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
I don't want too many people being happy. We're used to City fans being happy. Forget them.
Yeah.
They've won a treble. It's irrelevant. No one cares. Newcastle fans, bloody hell, they're on top, aren't they?
Yeah, but we don't want Newcastle. We don't want.
You don't want
Man City
Newcastle
running
fans
away
being
with it.
loud, bruv. Trust me, you
But we don't hear them. They're all the way up north. So
I think I agree with that. It's super chat, weirdly. I think
Super chat.
Yeah, it's my version. It's my version of it. Yeah, it's my own spin
Stupid
on
chat.
the
Oh,
super
there's
chat.
an injury straight away.
It's
Lads.
more important.
Huh?
Oh, here we go.
Charles
He's 22
Darwin.
seconds in.
he's winded. He's
idea.
only winded. He's all right. Don't worry.
I don't know.
He's only winning.
Look, the ref's had a fresh
Here
drink for the day, isn't he?
Here we go.
Look at
11 minutes added time, lads.
that. Yeah.
We're here till
We're going to
midnight
be here
now.
till half 11. Yeah.
Spent a whole day streaming.
Oh god.
Oh, mate, stop acting like you've got a real job, will ya? There's people at home that have just come in from a hard day's graft and they're listening to Buvey go,
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta do all this
Hard day
streaming.
It's been
streaming.
hard watching football.
Yeah.
Something I used to do all the time anyway.
oh.
Might as well be.
That's hard, isn't it? That's hard, isn't it?
Has he popped his little shoulder out?
That's disgusting.
No
My
way,
shoulder's like
shoulders
that
out.
sometimes,
You can't
That's
play
the
after that.
worst
Can
thing
you?
in the world.
Can we
can't
cut to it for Rory's sake? Can we,
No,
on
do
a
you know
Zoom in?
what? Do you know I've got a very I've got a proclivity to faint.
Oh, really?
I have it in me to just go. You know,
Really?
like
Are
you
you
know,
a
when I've
keeler,
had
yeah?
injections and that, I just go over, bang.
Wow.
Honestly, if I
Is
see
it like,
something grim,
if you
I'm
see
done.
the injection go in.
Yeah,
it's-
I'm out.
Is it?
I'm out. Yeah, it's a defense mechanism.
How long do you think
You know,
for
if
then?
I was ever going to get mugged or something,
Just
What, you
faint.
I'll just fucking go
in
over.
London?
Yeah.
Wake
I'm
up in their living
if I'm
room.
walking down.
Easer.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a cat.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's come with us.
Exactly.
That's not a very good defense.
Yeah,
mechanism,
it's
mate.
not-
No, it's not. No,
I'm
it's
trying to think of an animal in the
Play
animal
dead.
kingdom that would be like that,
Play
like a
dead.
badger or
No,
something.
it's playing dead, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the,
A
a
rabbit
porcupine?
would do that.
A porcupine.
Fucking go.
Hedgehogs do
Yeah,
that.
hedgehog, sorry.
He's a
hedgehog,
hedgehog.
yeah.
Yeah.
Porcupine.
What's a porcupine?
It's just big
We got,
hedgehog.
we got
Big
another
hedgehog.
soup
It's
chat.
his cousin.
Gotta read it.
Nice chop on old Eddie Howe. Didn't they have his size in that one? You seen how
Do you see
snug it is?
Do you see the thing that Tyndall's not allowed on the sideline anymore this
Tinder?
season?
Tyndall.
Oh.
Jason Tyndall's not allowed on the sideline, but he is.
What are you
there
talking
for
about?
a
I'm
reason.
literally
But the
looking at him
Premier
on the
League
sideline.
announced at the start of the season that the
No, you've
assistant
read it-
coaches
you've-
aren't allowed to stand up.
Sorry
for
to
I'm
break
literally
your
looking
chat.
at him on the. I'm literally seeing it. You're telling me something can't happen when I'm looking at
They're
it.
allowed to go one at a time now. It changed
I'm
because of
literally
Tyndall.
looking at them together.
He's doing something illegal and the ref's not picking
Yeah,
up on
they
it.
are
The,
doing
the,
something
the Premier
illegal.
League
Fine,
changed.
but they're there.
Illegal.
But you can see them there,
Yeah,
right?
you're right. But the Premier League changed the rules.
Okay,
Yeah.
but they're there.
Buvey,
Why are you being annoying?
thoughts on Haaland not scoring in big games and semi-finals, finals? That's from Lord Lugo. It's a super chat. Gotta
Lord
read
Lugo,
it.
what's your thoughts on Haaland winning a treble in his first season and scoring 52 goals in 53 games and he's 22 years old? And what are you doing with your life? You're sending in a super chat slagging off that kid, okay?
Thank you for your super chat,
Thanks
by
for
the
your
way.
super
Lord
chat,
Lugo.
though, mate. Hang
We
on a minute.
appreciate it.
Hang on a
Thanks
minute.
very much.
That
was that
approach.
about, man?
That approach isn't representative
I'm
of the
sick of-
club.
I'm sick of
We're
the
really
Haaland
grateful
slander.
for the support. Thank you very much for
I'm
sending in your
defensive
super
of
chat.
Haaland.
Calm down.
I'm defensive of Haaland.
Do you think he's due a big game in the final though?
Oh, yeah, he'll have one, though, innit?
What do you mean a big game? He won
Do
a
you
Champions
think-
League.
do you think
He
it's a
started in
flaw in
Champions League
him?
winning game?
Yeah.
Miles, do you think it's a flaw in Haaland
like Harry
that he's
Kane,
not
isn't it?
scored in those games, or just the
Nah,
circumstance?
I don't think it's a flaw.
Because Thierry Henry used to get that.
I was
game.
just, yeah, I know what's going to say it. Henry didn't score.
He never scored
It
in
was
final,
true,
did he?
though.
No, he didn't.
Henry cost Arsenal Champions League.
He didn't. No, don't say that.
Freddie-
He should have
He didn't
scored.
cost us
He
the
was the
Champions
keeper.
League.
For own
Oh,
goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Freddie Ljungberg was
Yeah,
a
but
bigger game player
Did
than
Thierry Henry ever win the
Was it?
Champions League?
Freddie Ljungberg scored
Yeah.
loads of finals.
He
He won it-
had
he
to
won it at
leave
Barca.
Arsenal to win it, didn't
Yeah, but
he?
who got us there though?
Yeah, that's
Who carried the team when
the
they won?
Thierry Henry
moments-
had to leave Arsenal to win the Champions League.
Was that the same year
Yeah.
as his goal against Real Madrid?
Yeah, he ran
Yeah.
through the whole
Ran
team.
for that.
That
Yeah.
was
Group
amazing.
game.
Did you win it that year?
That Champions League?
Yeah.
No, but we got there though.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll get there again.
Inter Milan was a good one as well. Remember that game? In the yellow kit? I
Yeah,
think
they
it was?
scored 5. They scored 5
Pires.
at San Siro, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
That was when like beating Inter Milan was really sexy.
That
as
was
well.
real football.
You know,
That
like
was real football.
now if you beat Inter Milan, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Henry broke his
Yeah,
record that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He broke his record, his goal scoring record.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we'll win the Champions League very soon.
This is what I hate about Twitter, though. Like, obviously, I found it funny because I'm a United fan and I hate Arsenal. But the other day, I seen a tweet that said Thierry Henry dribbles like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and actually, I couldn't not see it after I seen it.
No.
But
Yeah.
it's like only on Twitter can you now
'cause he
have Thierry Henry who
Yeah.
terrorised
Stop
everyone
Start. Ready for that burst of pain.
get dragged into a conversation with Wan-Bissaka.
No one talks about Arsenal in the Champions League. I feel like we talk about Newcastle getting into the Champions League. How do you think Arsenal will fare in the Champions League this season?
How many of their players have played in it?
Quite a few actually.
Loads, yeah.
Quite a few. That's a narrative that a
Jesus,
lot of people's been
Zinchenko.
saying.
No, I'm just because Martinelli hasn't, Saka hasn't.
I can tell you who has.
Jesus has.
Odegaard would
Odegaard.
Jesus, there's Jesus who's played in
Trossard
it.
hasn't.
Odegaard's played in
Zinchenko.
it.
Partey.
Zinchenko's played in it. Jorginho's played in it. Partey's played in it.
Kovacic.
Jorginho's won it.
Playing
Kovacic's at City.
Kovacic don't
What am
play
I
for
on
them.
about?
But he has played in it.
Jorginho, sorry,
No, if we're
Jorginho.
playing that
Jorginho.
game, if we're playing that
Jorginho,
game,
Jorginho.
Haaland,
I meant to say Jorginho. He said Jorginho.
Haaland's played in it. Bernardo
I
Silva.
think
What's the
John
base
Stones?
level of success in the Champions League for you with this squad? Because it's a talented
squad, if
squad
we
in
get
Europe.
Quarterfinals. right?
yeah, I was just gonna say quarterfinals.
The
it depends-
semis is punching a little bit if they do.
I don't
They'll be
think
doing
it's-
well.
No, once you're there.
Yeah.
They're there. But it depends on who we
interesting.
get. If we get like a Real Madrid or a PSG or
What pot are you like in 3?
You're 4, aren't you?
we're second pot 2.
You're not in pot.
We are in
Their
pot two.
coefficient's worse than Rangers.
We're in
I saw
pot
some
two.
mad tweets.
We're in
They've
pot
got
two.
terrible coefficients.
We're in
They
pot
haven't been
2.
in
We
for
could
6 years.
potentially
No,
get.
I'm not. Their coefficient's worse than Rangers because they've not been in the Champions League for 6,
Queen's
7 years.
Park or
you-
Glasgow?
No, Glasgow. They were in the Champions League last season.
Boofy.
They're worse than Le Gret's in their coefficient.
Correct.
They are. Le
Chill
Gret's
out.
are the champions of Macedonia.
You
wherever it is.
just pulled up to this table, man. This Champions League table. Just chill, man.
Yeah.
I know you won one, but just chill out. It's-
We've all won one on the table, our clubs, except Arsenal.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
How many you have, bro?
2.
I got 3 out.
How much have you got, Buvey?
1.
One. Boring. One. What's that about?
1.
I think ours was the highest standard win out of everyone here.
No,
No,
lowest.
no,
you
It
meant
was the
Lowest
highest in
standard.
terms of the standard
The
of
lowest
football.
standard win.
What, standard of football?
Lowest.
Yours are the
Lowest.
worst. Yours are the
No,
worst.
no, theirs is the best.
Ryan
Bertrand.
No, because there's a
not me.
good. There's a
That's not
good.
me.
There's a
Mate,
good.
we beat
We
Munich
can't talk
in
about
Munich.
Arsenal.
We beat Bayern Munich in Munich.
Yeah,
We
that's a
knocked
big
out
one.
Messi along the way, bro.
That's a big
We
one.
knocked out Bayern Munich. We knocked
You didn't
out
knock
Real
out-
Madrid.
You didn't knock out Lionel Messi prime, did you?
Why don't I talk about Lionel Messi? Why are we talking about
We
Lionel
sent
Messi?
Pep Guardiola into sabbatical.
What about the other one?
sent
The one
Pep
against us was
Guardiola-
boring.
Pep Guardiola-
That was
What about the one against us was
No, we
poor?
sent him into sabbatical.
That
Di
was
Matteo.
Mourinho.
Di Matteo sent him into sabbatical.
Your second-
Mourinho poked someone in the eye. and
Your
he
second
like,
one was
Di
COVID
Matteo sent him in.
one.
That was 2012. Di Matteo sent him
Yeah, but
into
your second one was boring.
Well, you just started on the first one and then you had to row back.
I'm going on
You
to
started on the first one and then had to row back
let's,
on it.
life moves on. Let's move on to the second one.
No. So you admit you got it
You
wrong.
played a
You got
back
the first
five.
one wrong. You got it
Okay,
wrong.
I
You
got it
started
wrong.
on Ryan
I admit it
Bertrand.
wrong.
So you started on Ryan
I
Bertrand.
like Ryan Bertrand, by the way. Solid professional.
No,
professional.
you started
He is
on
a solid
Ryan
professional.
Bertrand. Mate,
Second
can you
one.
imagine Ryan Bertrand making his debut in the Champions League?
He did amazing.
In Munich in a
He did amazing.
final
He did well,
against
amazing.
Munich.
He did well. He did
Yeah,
very
amazing.
well.
He was good.
Amazing.
He was well. That was a big game for Chelsea because, like you said, it was in Munich and it was in their back garden. It was in their
No,
stadium.
I never.
mate.
That was.
I
amazing.
thought
That was amazing.
Bayern Munich were going to just win. Like it was one
Yeah.
of them. Like
And
everyone.
remember, they went 1-0 up late.
Yeah.
They scored in the 81st minute.
Yeah.
But I do think once Drogba scored, it was like, nah, that's it.
Well, then they missed the penalty.
wrap.
Robin missed the penalty in extra
forgot.
time.
He did. Shit.
Robin missed
I
the penalty in
forgot.
extra
Didn't he hit the
time.
post?
Nice. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he hit the
outside,
post.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Schweinsteiger miss.
Schweinsteiger
Well,
missed a
in the
penalty
shootout.
in the
The winning-
shootout.
the
but
winning- it was
Robin
gonna
missed,
be the-
Robin missed the penalty in the
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah, he
check.
could have killed the game off.
Mm.
Yeah.
For Schweinsteiger to miss for Bayern Munich, like a
hit the
a
post.
living legend of Bayern Munich.
But you
top
got
three.
you got to admit though, Buvey, that Champions League final was just one of the most boring Champions League finals there's been known to man.
In terms of the game,
other than
yeah.
Inter Milan,
Old
Milito.
Trafford. Old Trafford.
Nah, remember the
AC
Juventus
Juve.
AC?
Old Trafford.
Yeah,
Old
yeah,
Trafford.
yeah.
That was the one.
I'm not,
Nothing
I'm
happened.
not sitting there saying it was the most entertaining game. It wasn't.
No.
But in terms of
You don't want
quality
it
of
to be.
football, we were exceptional. I'm not trying to be biased.
It's nonsense, really.
Actually, you know
What
what?
do you mean nonsense? We're a treble winning side.
No, I'm lying,
Nonsense.
boys. Tottenham versus Liverpool. was very boring.
Yeah. But the thing with that one, the problem with that
When
one
they scored the early penny.
Champions League.
Yeah.
Champions League final.
19.
I didn't watch that
19.
Oh, okay.
Do you know
I
the
didn't
problem
watch
with
it.
it?
Why do you watch
the
that?
problem
because
with
Liverpool were going to win.
The problem
I
with
thought
that-
you'd watch it out of interest for it because it's a Champions
Oh
League
yeah,
final.
I want to watch Liverpool if the European
I watched
Cup.
United
I'd
play
rather
Champions League
stab
final.
myself in the throat.
Do you know the problem with that one?
Don't do
there
that.
was no
Aggressive, isn't it? It's
jeopardy.
very aggressive.
There was no jeopardy. Like Liverpool always going to win that. You know, generally when you watch a game of football, what makes it exciting is the jeopardy.
Two teams.
Like, I've never known a final where just one team was going to win it.
Yeah.
I actually prayed that morning.
Yeah.
No,
Mate,
Adam
sometimes-
McKola. I
sometimes
prayed.
Oh yeah, because you wouldn't have won.
I woke
Spurs,
up that
yeah.
morning and I prayed.
What, Church of England or Catholic? Which what kind
bit
of
of
God?
both. A bit of both.
Anyone that was
Just-
listening,
yeah,
really.
anyone- yeah, exactly.
anyone that's listening.
Thankfully, they listened.
Yeah. No, mate, I was with you. Do you know?
You didn't need God on your side that day.
No. Adam.
Spurs were
Tottenham.
Spurs.
Tottenham were
It
No,
doesn't
mate,
matter.
I was
bro.
worried.
It's a final. Anything could happen.
Sometimes I forget that one because I was so happy that Liverpool won it that it almost didn't resonate as a win for Liverpool because I just was so
Just
pleased.
relieved.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the final.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
Nah.
Why is
No,
the camera moved?
No.
Go on,
Yeah.
go on.
Do you know my kid was born around that time? I've got all these videos of me like teaching her like Liverpool songs on the build up to that final. Like I've got like my kid who's about 3 months old at the time, like trying to teach her the Firmino song, just like desperate that she's
We're
gonna
gonna win this, man.
inspire Liverpool to a victory.
No, I was desperate for Spurs to win it, but I knew they wouldn't, so I just went to sleep.
It was over, but it was over before it began as well, wasn't it? It was, what was it? A couple of minutes in.
Penalty, yeah.
Couple of minutes
Buvey,
in.
can I ask you a question as a City fan? What's your
course.
expectations this season? Because people like to say that you've gotten weaker, and I don't think you have gotten weaker personally.
Yeah.
You've got a few injuries which are going to get your players back. Stones, Kevin De Bruyne. But what's the expectations?
I think it's competing for the Premier League to the later stages of the Premier League and trying to win the Champions League again and trying to retain it. I think we've got the squad to do it. We're top 3 in Europe to win the Champions League this season with Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, in my opinion. We're there with Arsenal and maybe Liverpool, that kind of setup in the Premier League. Compete. I think that's all City fans want. I don't think we can sit here and say we want back-to-back Champions Leagues and all that. We deserve it with the quality of the squad.
What would be the minimum good season?
A Premier League win.
So four in a row.
A good run in the Champions League. I don't think we're going to get
So one
embarrassed in the Champions
trophy,
League.
a Premier League would be enough.
Yeah, I think most City fans say that every season, regardless of what happens.
I think it's going to be a hard season for Man City this season, you know.
Based on what?
Based on
Everyone else.
Yeah, I just think everybody else has gotten stronger. Obviously, Man City's still going to do what Man City does.
Do you not think they have got weaker, Miles? Like,
I
if you
don't-
think Gundogan's gone, Mahrez has gone, there's chats. I know he's on the pitch at the moment. In fact, on the ball at the moment. But there's chats about Kyle Walker, De Bruyne's injury. Overall, if you look at the players that have gone out and aren't available and the players that have come in, do you not think they've got a touch weaker?
I think they've gotten weaker in retrospective to them.
Yeah.
To their standard.
Yeah.
But to everybody else, I don't think they're that much weaker because they was better than everybody else by such a big
Also, I
margin
think
anyway.
we kind of felt they'd lose a lot more than they have because at one point it looked like Bernardo was off, Kyle
Yeah.
Walker was off, and now those guys are close to signing new deals.
Yeah, it's like
So it's almost like, did it really go?
See, I just
the
when
way
I
we
think of
thought
the
it
gap,
would?
obviously, you know, I'm desperately optimistic that Chelsea can be in this conversation. But as things stand, this isn't really my fight. So I'm looking at who's going to win the
Rory,
league.
say it with your
right?
chest. It's a bit of your fight. You got your
No,
foot
but in terms of winning the Premier
door.
League. No, I'm optimistic that we can be involved. But realistically, this isn't really a Chelsea conversation. So I'm looking at the teams that can win the league, and I think Arsenal have massively improved, and I think that Man City have got a touch. Even if you still think Man City are the best,
Yeah.
and you might think they're the best, I still think their level has come down a bit, and I think Arsenal's level has gone up a bit. So just by the nature of that, it's a tighter title race.
Yeah, but I'm scared, man, because I'm not scared. I've got confidence in my team. I'm very confident. But I just don't know if we're going to get back to that position again. If we could get back to the last 10 games again, then I'll be confident. But you got to still get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And getting there is not going to be easy anyway.
It's going to be harder.
It's
Like you
gonna
got
be
European
hard.
Cup
Yeah.
competition.
It's going to be hard
There's
to
an
get back there.
expectation to win a trophy now, so you're going to have to take the FA Cup, the
And
League Cup a bit more
and
seriously.
the injuries for Arsenal as well.
I looked at Forest. I thought they were a
Injury.
little bit rusty against Forest.
Timber,
You know.
Jesus.
Jesus is
Early
back in
season
3
though,
weeks.
isn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
He'll be
Arsenal started last season so bang on form. I wonder if the back end of last season is a real issue for the start
No,
of
but
this
as long
season.
as you get those wins, like,
But yeah, look, they got the win against Forest. Fair play. But Palace is a tough one. I just think Arsenal were a little bogged down by the
think they'll
disappointment
back
of
to
last
Palace,
season.
I think
No.
they'll back to Palace.
I don't think it's anything.
think-
to
I
do
don't
with
think
that
that's got
season.
anything to do with it. I think, if anything, they're rejuvenated and they're ready to go again. I think they're ready
you
to
could
go
win
again.
8 in a row at the start of the season. I'm not saying that. You're good enough to. But all I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of pressure on the back end. Well, look at when Liverpool nearly won the quadruple and then the following season they fell off.
But it's
There's
interesting.
a lot of weight
but
on
Booth, what's
Arsenal.
interesting there is you've used Liverpool as an example. Liverpool can also be an example to Arsenal because Liverpool went all the way to a Champions League final. Do you remember they went to Kiev
Yeah.
and they lost that final? Then what happened the following season?
won the
Bang,
league.
they bounced back and win it. They went all the way in the Premier League. They got to record points and didn't win the league.
Yeah.
What happened the following season? They won the league the earliest.
And then I'd
ever.
argue
so
that
if
squad,
Arsenal can do that,
yeah.
Arsenal could. Look,
Yeah.
you are right. Arsenal's defeat or whatever way you want to spin it, Arsenal's lack of silverware last year, they could see it as something to it may have an impact where they just don't challenge this year, or they could use it as it could be the biggest galvanising force. And this year they go, right, we came so close last year. Watch this.
I just think the difference. That point's bang on. Jurgen Klopp's the manager for Liverpool. Salah scoring 30-odd goals. I don't think Arsenal have got those goals in an individual player with Jesus.
That's not their system, though. They don't need that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know they spread it, but there are points in the season where you need someone to just pick up the ball and finish things first time.
I think this season there is no title race, personally.
What, City run away with it?
I think everyone else is kind of like
I think so.
Probably Arsenal gets second and everyone will fight them.
No, I think it's tighter for City than ever.
No way. I don't think they run away with it this season. No way.
On some level, I hope you're right.
I don't think they have to run away with it though. All they need to do is be top of the league by the time it comes to April, and then it's done.
Yeah, but everybody else
we know what they're like.
The spine's so good.
Yeah, but everyone else has got a better points.
Even earlier than April. They're topping. If they're topping, even if they're not top, if they're nearly top in February, they're City are the only team.
Like if they win today. Let's say City win today and then Arsenal draw on Monday.
The pressure's on.
But it's like, all right, they're already 2 points clear now.
Adam,
You know what I mean?
Pressure's on though.
It's not over. It's like now we've all played catch up already.
But if we were talking about the Premier League 15 years ago, and if United and Chelsea are having a go, Jose Mourinho and Ferguson, they could draw a game. They could win, draw. You know, you can't lose at the start of the season.
There was a time when 2 points a year, 2 points a game, was champions. 2 points now doesn't get you anywhere near
mid-80s and all that. Now you got to get 90 odd, you know.
2 points a game used to be a wicked tally. You ain't getting anywhere near it now.
You could look at it you could flip the coin and look at it the other way. Obviously, like you said, if you drop 2 points or you drop how many other points you drop, it's going to be detrimental to your title race or wherever you're fighting for, top four, whatever it may be. But there's other teams along the way that's good, that's going to take points away off other people. Brighton's good. Villa's good.
Yeah,
Chelsea's in the
This league's as bad as it's ever been, in my opinion. In terms of the sides outside the top 8, you got Luton,
the strongest
Bournemouth,
it's ever been outside of top 4.
Well,
What you just said, the Brightons of the world, they're fantastic. Villa, Newcastle. But I'm talking about the clubs that have come up. Luton, they're going to get smashed by all the big
that's a
six
given,
sides.
though.
Bournemouth, Sheffield United.
Nah, Bournemouth, look at
the
Bournemouth
composition
today,
of the league is as bad as it's ever been.
Nah, never.
No. I think
Look
outside,
at Leeds got relegated.
Outside
Sunderland
the
aren't in the league.
it's stronger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Really? When would you ever have a Brighton with a De Zerbi?
Yeah,
or even
you're using teams in the top 8. I'm saying about everyone else.
But they're outside.
I think you're kind of agreeing, lads, because Buvey's point is that the league is weak, but he's saying that everybody saying the bottom half of the league is just dreadful.
No, but
and whereas you keep answering Buvey by going Brighton and Villa, and he's kind of agreeing with that. He's saying that everybody below that is dross.
No, but if you look at like even in the bottom half teams, you got coaches now that are doing different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you look at Forest, for example, all right, probably go down. Look at some of the players in there, Morgan, Gibbs, White, and all these kind of talented players.
In retrospect, 20 years ago, we had Blackburn being mid-table. They were far better than some of these sides. Harder. Ewood Park, hard place to go. Sheffield United of the world. Portsmouth were hard with Harry Redknapp. Mate, we got.
It's not the same anymore.
Heckingbottom's happy to be managing in the Premier League. Rob Edwards
you're focusing on the 3 teams that have come up.
Okay, and I've also said Forest are dross. I've also said Burnley. Okay, Burnley got promoted as well. There's a few other clubs that are absolutely shocking.
Yeah, but Buvey, there's fixtures every week. And you couldn't tell me who's going to win. Every week
Look
there's
at Fulham
a hard
as well,
fixture.
Fulham example.
Every week
Marco Silva. They've probably never had a coach as good as him. Like the Premier League can attract the coach. Like Lopetegui, I know he's not there now, but he went to Wolves.
They're doing fantastic. I think there's a gap between the top 6 and the bottom 14 more than ever.
I think there is a gap, but I do think that the level of transfers fees that the bottom clubs can spend now and the coaches that they can attract means that that gap's closing up, I think.
But you see it in the points totals. If City get 100 points, we're beating more sides than sides used to.
But is that the brilliance?
Why didn't Ferguson get 100 points?
Is that the brilliance of Guardiola rather than a reflection on the league?
It's reflection on. It's easier against some of these sides to smash sides out.
Man, Buvey, you can't tell me it's easier when you got teams like Brighton that's dispatching teams.
I'm not saying the Premier League's easy, by the way. It's in contrast to some of the harder away days.
We've never had more teams capable of qualifying for Europe.
Facts.
I'd say that there are now probably 12 sets of fans that genuinely believe their team could qualify for Europe.
100%.
That's never been the case. Like mate, if you go back a decade or so, we had four teams in the Champions League, and only 4 clubs that could make it. So it didn't even matter. It didn't even matter how good you were. Basically,
it just depends where you're going to finish.
Where you finish. You're all going to. Yeah, it's going to be Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man United.
The only worry was,
are
you going to have to play that qualifier?
Exactly.
Who was against some third?
Yeah. You're going to have to go off to Sofia or something.
Yeah, and play in the middle of July.
Yeah.
Like no one cared.
Yeah, that was the only issue.
If you sleep now, Buvey, you might not even make Europe altogether.
Chelsea.
I'm interested in the argument. So if City win 4 in a row, what does that say about the league?
It says Man City are amazing.
No, but what you got to look at is Manchester City have had Manchester City's squad is unlike any other squad that you've seen before. Like the ability to have those 11 players that start week in, week out, then 5, 6 that could easily start for anybody in the league. You very rarely see that kind of level.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, Pep's a G, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's one of the best to do it, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's
not
in
the
doubt.
best.
Four in a row is, I mean, it's historic.
Was it done in Division 1?
Presumably,
I don't think we could Google that.
somebody would. I
I'm thinking
imagine
like a Huddersfield.
mate, Preston, North End.
Yeah,
or
something
yeah.
like that, yeah.
No one than that.
But in the modern era, obviously not.
No,
Like even the
Premier League era, of
glorious,
course
even
not,
the
yeah.
glorious, no, but even more modern,
right,
like even
just
the
before,
glorious
yeah.
like Liverpool teams,
Right,
they didn't
yeah,
do
I
that.
don't think
No.
he even done it for Barcelona, did he?
No,
he lost. There
Took us
was a
to
Jose
battle.
Mourinho league win there.
It wasn't
Yeah,
there
yeah,
long
yeah.
enough.
He won 3 league
4,
titles
I
in
think,
4.
was he?
He could have won 4.
No,
he was there for 4 years.
Oh, 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
he
was only
lost
there.
one though to Mourinho.
Yeah.
And Mourinho had to outscore him. He got the highest points total
Yeah,
in the
Ronaldo.
history.
Yeah, Ronaldo. He had Ronaldo, Benzema.
Oh, that was
what else?
Ozil, isn't it? Is
Yeah,
that
Ronaldo,
Ozil team?
Khedira.
Benzema, Khedira, yeah. Tony
That was a good
Kroos.
side. They should have won the Champions League, really. Mourinho should have won that.
Yeah,
But he came up against...
especially with Mourinho in charge.
That was the Messi turn. Remember, he got the ball off Busquets. He does a little...
Just
Or
did it
Xavi,
all,
Xavi,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
He runs through the whole... It's the best goal I've ever seen live.
You would
I'm
go
sorry.
as
were you
a
at that
But sorry, I
game?
mean, like, watching a football game live.
Oh right,
It's the
sorry.
best standard goal I've ever seen.
managing Real Madrid feels like the most guaranteed Champions League trophy.
It really does. Yeah, it really does.
Boys, I really like this Tonali player, you know. He's bringing them so much balance in the midfield. He's just so composed on the ball. He's not rash. He's not...
It also just makes Bruno Guimaraes so much better as he loses.
Who was that?
As opposed to...
Guimaraes. As he loses the ball.
Takes the pressure off him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does,
But
man.
mate, I saw an amazing stat about Guimaraes last year. Did you see that? Newcastle played without Bruno Guimaraes last year 6 times. They didn't win one of those games.
No
Now he's got
creativity.
Tonali, so it doesn't have
it
that
does,
impact.
Yeah, it's not so much of a burden on him.
Exactly.
This is a good game. Really high
You
quality.
take a point today, Boo. I'm not being facetious.
I predicted 3-3. Kind of hope.
No, but would you take
of
the
a
point?
draw.
If I said to you now, we call it a draw, would you have the point?
Yeah,
Or
I
would you-
think I would. I think I would.
I think most teams would take a point at Newcastle. And that's what I'm saying. The league
No,
is
but not City,
tough, though.
And not City, surely.
They're good enough to...
City at home need to look to win this game, surely.
If
took a
we
point off
beat
them last
these
year, didn't they?
comfortable
Yeah,
today,
it finished 3-3. It was the
3-3.
same day.
Yeah.
It was this time last year.
What we beat them.
No, the
it's
3-3
3-3.
game.
3-0 with Haaland
3-0 game,
scoring.
yeah,
That
yeah.
goal from Haaland was incredible.
We got a super
Ruthless.
chat. Van Dijk looked back to his best today. Buvey and Adam said he was finished. Hold that L as well. Adam says, amen.
When did I say
Van
that?
Dijk looked back to his best
Okay, boom.
against Bournemouth. Who looked really good today. Bournemouth looked really
They're
good at times
relegated.
today.
They're destined to be relegated.
They looked all right, boy.
And Van Dijk is finished compared to who he once was.
Yeah.
Do you think?
He was once the best centre
do
back
you
in the
think
world.
he comes
He'll
back?
never be back
Can
at
you
that
read
level.
Do you not think at all?
Not at that level.
No.
What's your eyes like, mate?
Love the channel, boys. Just gonna say a Liverpool win and United defeat. Oh, shut up.
You've got excellent
Made
mince
this the
pies
best
on you, mate.
25th
hell,
birthday
2020 vision, here.
I could have ever dreamt of. Much love from Boston and Beirut. Sorry, but not sorry, Adam.
How did you
Nadir,
read that, Adam?
Boston.
I hope you have a shit birthday.
You've got great eyes, man.
Mate, your eyesight is...
Yeah.
You're
2020
like an
vision.
eagle.
The old mince
2020.
pies
Is it
on him.
omega-3, do you think? Are you taking omega-3?
Right, he's like a
fatty
hawk.
acid, fish
He's like a hawk
acid and all that.
soaring above us.
What, cod liver oil?
Yeah, you
think
taking
I'm
all
on
that?
shit? Nah, man.
No,
What, am I
that's-
pregnant?
That's not your eyes. That's not nothing to do with your eyes.
What is it then?
Yeah.
Carrots.
So you're
Yeah.
eating carrots?
You ever seen a
Carrots is
you
a
ever seen a
myth,
bunny
bro.
wearing
Carrots, it's carrots, man.
Carrots are definitely a myth.
no, that's true.
Listen, ladies
You
and
ever seen a
gentlemen.
bunny wearing
Yeah,
glasses?
you
Yeah,
haven't.
never.
No,
There you
no.
go.
That's right, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, eat your
You
carrots.
know, I've got 2 bunnies.
I had two. Shall I tell you a
Yeah,
tragic
my
story?
kid, isn't it?
We
I've
used
got
to
2
live in-
bunnies in my house.
We used to live in a flat, and I had 2 bunnies, and we lived on the 13th floor. And one of my baby cousins didn't know what he was doing and threw him off the balcony.
What are you doing?
Oh.
What are you
Did he
doing?
survive?
Of course he didn't
Oh, my
survive. What do you think he's going to
Was
do?
he in a
Use
wheelchair?
a helicopter.
I was devastated. I haven't spoken to
Did
him
he
since.
survive?
I haven't spoken to him
Do you know,
since.
when I hear stories about that?
How old are you?
I think it's sick
I
in
was
the
like
head, man.
4 or 5.
You know that I
harsh when
watched
you're
that
that
Jeffrey
young.
Dahmer show. The geezer started off. He ended up being very horrible to people, but he started off being on the animals case. When I hear that people are dodgy with the animals, I think you.
No, like he was
psychopath.
literally
Keep
too
your distance
small.
from me at
Killing
night.
cats and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone that starts on animals, if you're a sicko with the animals, keep your distance from me because I think that you're going to be a psychopath.
I think everyone had a rabbit. I had a rabbit. I got a picture of me sitting on my rabbit cage, but the rabbit wasn't in the
I was
cage.
going to
Yeah,
say
I
sitting
thought
on the
that was. I
rabbit.
thought, here we go. I'm going to have to get away from him.
No, no.
Yeah. We're in a headlock. Yeah.
Holding the ears like
Yeah.
them
Like
space hoppers.
Yeah, I had a rabbit, I had a goldfish, and I had 3 cats.
I had a goldfish, yeah, and my mum went out, and
Oh, for fuck.
we were cleaning the fish tank, so I had to put the fish in a bowl in the kitchen because we were cleaning the fish tank.
And I was like, what you done?
And
Drunk it.
I put
Put it in hot water.
I went to make fish fingers, innit?
What?
And I put the grill on now. And then I went out to play football after I had my fish fingers, left the grill on. And the kitchen got so hot that the fish boiled.
That can't. What?
It happened.
The fish boiled.
So
What do you mean?
fish were in a bowl
Yeah.
in my kitchen,
Yeah.
like next to the cooker.
Oh.
And I went out and left the grill on
Yeah.
for like 2-3 hours. So the room just got bare hot and like
I see that.
You are
overheated.
so
Fish-
lucky.
Fish are very, very temperamental. Honestly, I had a goldfish once, and it was swimming upside down for about 6
No,
months.
that means you
Couldn't
fed it too
upright.
That was
much.
dead.
That means you fed it
That's
too
dead.
much.
No,
I saw
I was
that in
feeding
Finding
it.
Nemo.
That 6 months
If you
it was
overfeed
dead.
a
No,
goldfish.
it was swimming upside down. It was alive upside down. Yeah,
Fishes
it had a
are-
bladder infection. Its
These
bladder
fishes are temperamental.
What I love about goldfish is if you put them in a big tank, they just go massive.
Yeah, they go as
Do
big
they?
as their tank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
go as big as the
If you,
tank.
it could.
You having a laugh?
No.
Nah, seriously.
Well, why didn't someone just put it on?
You can grow a human-sized one.
Yeah, you
Why did it
could.
get on the studio then? The
I
size of
don't
the
want
studio.
I don't want a goldfish size
They're
human.
called
So you're
aquariums.
saying if you
Buvey.
put a goldfish in this room, it'd be as big as the
Yeah.
room?
Yeah.
No,
It got
you're
quite
having a
big.
laugh.
It got big.
You're having a laugh.
It would go.
It would go
as
big.
big
What,
as
as big
you.
as a
It would
whale?
go as big as
As a
you.
whale.
It would go as
Not
big
a
as you.
whale, bro.
Well, you just said it would go as
Buvey.
big as you said.
No,
As a-
but like we limit them by putting them in little tanks.
Yeah,
and stay
exactly.
tiny.
We don't want 6 foot
Mate,
goldfish.
open your mind. Expand your mind.
I am.
Why are you so?
I'm
why are you
trying,
so
I'm trying to
blinkered?
expand my
Why are you
mind,
so
see how big the
blinkered?
goldfish would go, and you just said it could go infinitely
Like the size
big.
of a salmon. You go
Yeah.
to like
Like a
the size of a
salmon.
salmon. Yeah, that's,
Wouldn't
that's big for a goldfish.
Yeah, that's great.
That's big.
That's fantastic. You could farm them and
Smoke
like,
it.
eat it and all that. That'd be fantastic. That'd be
I wouldn't
cheaper than.
fancy eating a goldfish much.
Why not?
No,
I know,
don't
yeah,
look
I think
very
that's
nice.
like you said with the animals. If someone's eating goldfish, I don't know. There's
No,
something
it's
funny with you
yeah,
there.
it's weird.
There's something funny with you.
Yeah.
Well,
I would
they're
like
really
to-
tasty though.
Ah, yeah.
No,
don't know.
I
We don't know,
think-
actually.
I
I'm
don't
not a
think-
seafood man, but you know what I
I
mean.
like seafood, man.
No,
Oh.
I'm not that.
Oh, I love it. It's my
They're
favourite.
good, aren't they?
I go
Midfield.
fish all the way.
Yeah, you love a. You love a.
Oh.
Remember that salty piece you got last
I
time?
love it.
What
Fish
was that
baked
called
in
again?
the-
You burnt it. Set it on fire. Remember that?
Yeah, you bake it in the salt.
And then you just set the whole.
Set the whole.
thing
Yeah,
off
put a
it,
bit
and
of
then
put
crack
a
it
bit of
open.
brandy on top. Set it on fire. That's the dream. If I ever ended up murdering someone in Alabama and went on death row, that would be my final meal.
You've
Oh,
told me
yeah.
about 3 different meals for your.
Yeah,
Yeah,
final
you
because
meal.
it
change
depends
it.
on the mood, doesn't it? It depends on the mood.
So you're in a-
Saturday
you're
night,
in a-
Saturday night half 8, I could be in Scott's Mayfair now,
What did you
and
say?
I'd go fish all the way.
Scott's Mayfair.
Mm.
How much?
Fish
How much?
restaurant.
You said granola last time.
Granola in the morning. If it depends what time they're executing me. If they're executing me at 8 in the morning,
But
I'm
we-
gonna have some
but we've
granola.
never streamed
Your
it.
last meal and you want nuts.
He loves
I'm
nuts.
not going to have a steak at 8 o'clock in the morning. They
He's nuts.
decide what time I
Nah,
get
it's
executed.
before you get executed, isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's at
they-
night time.
But they could execute me
Well,
at 8 a.m.
It could be.
I don't
then I'm
reckon.
gonna
I
have
don't reckon
granola.
anyone's waking up early to execute someone.
Yeah.
Okay, they will execute me at
They
11.
let you have your day first.
I'll have some eggs.
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
it has to.
You
suit
got
the
one
day.
more day.
Would you
at
rather
least.
get executed at night or in the morning?
No, you don't want to sleep on it because it's going to scare you. You don't want to go bed. Go.
You want to be at
get
night, so you have
executed.
more
Yeah.
time. You want more time alive. So
No.
at night.
No, but it could be. You could get done the next.
No, but
morning.
if it's the 21st of July, 2027, I want it in the evening of the 21st of July.
I have it in the evening because there's been cases where people's had their executions turned over
Yeah.
throughout the day.
So you just
So
want
you
as much
leave it.
time as
Yeah,
possible. to
just
shut it
in
off.
case.
100, see?
Although you don't
100%.
want to. So you just be sitting there. So you're getting done at 8, 3:30. You're just in your room like that.
Yeah,
4.5
Jesus.
hours left.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a sad thought. Whereas if you get it done in the morning, you go to sleep the next night, you're up, you bang.
I'd do
let's
some
get
press
this
ups or
done.
something. I'd do
Yeah,
some
but you
press
don't
ups.
sleep the whole night though, so it's even worse.
No, that's the problem.
Yeah, you wouldn't sleep the night before.
You won't
So
sleep the
it's
night before.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Just ideally, you don't.
Can we do
murder
a poll
anyone
in the chat?
Alabama.
A poll in the chat. When would you like to get
AM or
murdered by the
PM?
state in a
From
prison?
yeah, Christina Milian.
Milian. AM to PM.
I'm gonna hit the lights.
What would be your
Christina
last
Milian.
song? What would be your last song?
Prince, When Doves Cry.
Oh, good song.
Yeah.
Good song.
Yeah, but my last
Yeah.
song it would probably be something from Tupac, you know, if it was the last one.
Is it?
A little bit of Do for Love.
Something calm.
Something
Something soothing,
That's a
innit?
good song.
What would be yours, Buvey?
Mine's Unfinished Sympathy by Massive Attack.
You had that
I've
already.
asked the Bristol. That's for everything, though.
Heart of
I've
Bristol.
asked you if you're. I asked you if you were having a fight. If you were
No,
having
I'll do Teardrop Massive Attack.
always Massive Attack.
Yeah, it has to be. Bristolian.
Massive attack.
Bristolian.
Repping
only.
Bristol, baby.
Is there any other
Baby.
Bristolian musician? Is there any other Bristolian artist? Like, is there somebody watching this stream now who's a music artist from Bristol going, this geezer loves repping Bristol, but he never mentions my band?
Tricky. Do you remember Tricky from
Yeah,
the 90s?
yeah.
Portishead.
Anyone else?
About it, really. About it.
Yeah, it's not really going much in Bristol.
Garage DJ Conductor. Ever heard of
Yeah,
Conductor?
Conductor. Yeah. He
Went to
does
school
the
with him.
Kiwi thing.
He's
You
an
know
Arsenal fan.
Conductor, yeah?
Yeah, I went to school with him. Arsenal fan.
Is it?
Good footballer as well. Very,
I like-
very good footballer.
Yeah, I like Conductor.
Never met him in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
Never met
Got a
Conductor.
big gap.
There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
lucky
that.
that.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
the gap
No,
when I
it's
was-
lucky. It's like Madonna.
Oh, I closed my gap.
Did you? I'd leave it open. My kid's got
Yeah,
one at
how'd
the
you
moment. I'm
close it?
leaving it.
Braces, isn't it?
What do you mean, how'd you close it?
I
What do you
don't
think he
know. I
does?
don't know.
Put in a third
I'm
tooth.
asking the question, Rory. Just
Gaps are
open your
hereditary,
mind.
though.
You have
Nah,
a
they're
gap
good,
there
man.
because
They're hereditary.
I like
the other teeth
They're
are
hereditary.
pushing.
Yeah, they are.
Can I show a photo, lads? This
No.
is what a
Not
goldfish looks like.
hereditary.
They are. My mum and dad
That's a
got
giant
that.
goldfish,
Yeah,
lads.
so you grow it as big as a tank.
Would you eat that for 50
I wouldn't
quid?
eat it. Yeah, for
50 quid?
Yeah.
Nah.
I think
That
a
looks
fish, man.
tasty for
Yeah,
50
that does look like tasty.
Look at the
yeah.
belly on that. I'm having that right now for free.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, lads.
Yeah, if you cover that, if you salt bake that, I'm all over it.
Salt bake.
bake.
Why
Salt
does that
bake
be
that with a little bit of
Why does that be
spinach.
fancy with you? Just fry it normal.
Spinach.
A bit of spinach, yeah. Spinach and fish.
Spinach
It's
just
perfect
tastes
combo.
like that.
Yeah, man.
Roast
Man,
potatoes.
Are you
Spinach,
insane?
though.
Yeah, spinach.
Asparagus.
How
Granola
for
for
you?
breakfast.
Granola for breakfast, yeah, this lunatic.
Mate,
Coffee and granola.
Would you have
what
for
a
lunch?
lunatic.
Rich tea digestives with margarine all over them. You got no taste.
What on earth are you talking
You got
about?
no taste.
Why is that no taste? You just
Man
had
wants
a
fish
had a
and
go at me.
sarg.
Fish and sargaloo.
That's it.
Sarg bargee.
Just a little bit of sarg with your goldfish.
Bit of mash. Bit of mash and asparagus.
Oh yeah,
What's your song, by the way?
It has to be a Michael Jackson song.
Oh,
Man in the Mirror.
Nah, I'm not trying to look in the mirror.
no, Man in the Mirror is a banger though.
I know, but
Remember the Moonwalker
You're not
movie?
alone.
Moonwalker was wicked.
I
Man.
watch it all the time.
Oh mate, I used to
Moonwalker.
watch it before school in the morning. Go on.
You
Love
will not see a
Love
better. You will not see. Oh, this is
Joe Pesci's in it as well.
Of course he is.
Class.
Of course he is.
Class. See when he turns into the car.
What's his name? Go on. Go on.
Super chat for Rory. Better to have Seabass at Paranga.
It's a great shout.
Who's
you know who that
Paranga?
is?
Kev D.
Yes,
Kev,
the
I
main
know who that
man.
is.
The main man. He's absolutely right. Paranga in Malta. It's a really nice restaurant. They do the perfect salt covered sea bass. Wonderful. What's happening, Kev?
Big up
Yeah, I
Kev.
hope you're
man.
doing well, Kev. He's a daddy
Oh,
now,
Kev.
isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, shout out Kev.
Yeah.
What a lovely. I love Malta.
Okay.
Well, I've met him, bro. Okay, and he's got a
It's
lovely.
do you know
nil.
your Michael Jackson shout? I reckon
Go on.
Smooth Criminal is the best music video ever made. You know when in the beginning when he
Thriller's up there as
flicks
well.
the coin into the jukebox
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
goes
yeah,
all the
yeah.
way across.
That's good. That.
and then
It's
there's
good,
that word, and then the
He's got
little kid
loads. Billie
the little-
Jean's a great video.
The little kid outside. I taught him everything he knew.
Yeah.
Bad's a good one though as well.
No,
He's
Smooth
got
Criminal.
10 that are amazing.
Smooth Criminal
All
is the
these
best
videos-
music video ever.
All
You
these
rock my
videos.
world with Chris Tucker.
All these videos you lot are saying, I've got history about all those videos.
Yeah.
All those Smooth
The one
Criminal.
with
You
Janet
rock my world
Jackson
was a
in
very
the
good one.
spaceship.
Scream. I didn't like that one. Too
No, I
much.
didn't. Yeah,
I've never liked
Janet
that song.
Jackson.
You know.
makes me
Oh, Scream.
wanna scream.
Yeah, Scream.
I've never liked that.
Pressure in me.
The Earth song. What's the Earth song?
that
where
was
he's
terrible.
Great
Yeah,
video.
the video's great though.
Great
Yeah, when
video.
he's in the wind,
Anyway, it's
clinging on to the bronze.
it's 0-0. Manchester City 0, Newcastle 0. We are watching the game.
I'm
We are
not
just
having it
talking
as a
about
better video than
some
Smooth
of our-
Criminal, I'm afraid. I just,
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
Mate, the dance routine, the clothes, the ambience, there's everything about it. What? He's
that,
such a
Alvarez?
player,
Julian Alvarez.
man.
Oh,
Wasn't
that
he
is
linked to us
delicious.
at one point?
Can you imagine if he was playing week in, week out as a main striker, how many goals he's...
He'd be Arsenal's best striker since Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
No, he wouldn't.
maybe not
wouldn't.
since Thierry Henry, but
Van
he,
Persie
He
would.
would.
I was about to
He
say,
would.
Van Persie was there, man.
Okay, apart from Van Persie.
he'd be their best striker now.
Yeah, he's sucky
Alvarez,
right now.
Alvarez, surely, that boy's no banner, is
He's
he?
better than Jesus.
He wasn't better than Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, he is. I think he is, mate.
Got
He's a
higher
better goal
ceiling.
scorer, yeah.
Olivier
he's got
Giroud is
higher
one of the
ceiling.
Giroud's
He
had some
didn't
great
play. He didn't
moments.
play the centre forward role as well as Giroud, maybe. But I think as a goal scorer,
Alvarez is probably on the same level as Nicholas Bentner.
No.
You see the goal?
Get played.
We're doing a live stream with the support of
he
Super
doesn't get
6.
minutes.
Okay, the Super 6 lads are probably watching at home. You just called him Bentner. He's just scored this goal from 25 yards out.
Bentner do that,
Look at
Buvey.
this.
Bentner do that.
Look at this. No,
Bentner scored bangers though.
He scored bangers.
Not, yeah, but he hasn't won a treble. Okay, and then he's also scored this. It's
have you seen
beautiful,
Julian Alvarez's trophy haul
It's crazy.
from
World
Argentina?
Cup,
Yeah, but from
Yeah,
from
but
his calendar year is like the best
Yeah.
calendar
He
year in
didn't
football
play though,
history.
boys. He didn't play.
He does. He's playing today. He played against Sevilla.
I've seen
Played all
Nicolas
Why
do
does
that.
that look so sarcastic? That celebration. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. He's like, this is
Nah,
winding
Nicholas
up the
Bentner.
club.
He's
That's
a
great.
Bent. No, seriously, he's a Nicholas Bentner feature kind of guy. He features.
He's not.
constantly.
He's not. Behave.
He's not better than Olivier Giroud. He's not better than
better
Van
than
Bentner
Persie.
went to Forest in the Championship, didn't he? I mean, that's
Yeah, but I'm
standard.
talking about when he was at my club, the greatest club.
What do you do at Arsenal? What do you win?
Came on,
Against
I mean,
what?
when
Regrets.
and
Adebayor
scored the
playing instead
fastest
of him.
goal ever.
I swear Adebayor was playing
No, he
instead of him.
replaced Adebayor when he came to City.
No.
Adebayor was desperate to leave
Adebayor at
Arsenal.
Arsenal, mate. Nicholas Bentner weren't getting in the team for Arsenal.
No,
because
yeah,
of
Bentner
Adebayor.
didn't
Arsenal had
play with
Adebayor.
Yeah.
Arsenal didn't play with Adebayor.
Yes, they did.
I thought he
we did.
replaced Adebayor when he went
No,
to
no,
Man
no,
City.
no. There's definitely an overlap.
Is it?
Adebayor was
And
class for Real
Adebayor
Madrid
played
as
with
well.
Henry. So Adebayor was
I
there
know
first.
Adebayor played with Henry.
Yeah, so he was
But I
there
don't know
first.
Bento was with Henry and Adebayor.
No. Bender went there.
Right, fair enough.
Bender
But he's
came.
bang average. Why you bring that up?
No, why did you bring Bentner up?
It's ruined the
No,
conversation.
why did you bring Bentner
Because
up?
Bender's on the same level as Alvarez.
No.
Yes, boys. You're forgetting what Nicholas was
Arsenal
doing.
fans are mental, man.
He was, man. He was. Alvarez is good for what he's doing now.
behave.
Come on, man. What's Alvarez really doing for you?
He's won a
Average.
treble.
Yeah, but
No, you can't keep using
can't
that.
say
as
it.
I
an
think he
excuse.
scored 17 goals in a treble winning season.
David May won a
say
treble.
That. Say that.
He scored 17
Yeah.
goals in a treble
Just
winning
that.
season.
is it
17.
17 goals.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
all competitions? Or
Yeah,
just
in
the
all
Premier
comps.
League?
In all comps.
He's done all right.
He's done fantastic.
What do you think of Gabriel Jesus, man? What have you made of? Because he seemed to be the guy that come in as a 9, and it's not really.
God, Gabriel Jesus. What can I say about this beautiful man? I think he's.
You loving him, yeah?
Yeah, he's a good player, man.
Oh, phone.
1 second before let's get on this.
Well
attack.
played. It's Tonali.
No,
That's a
get
foul.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Jesus, it's not. I hate when people say, "Oh, we need a striker. We need to replace him," because he does lack that. Like Buvey says, he needs someone special to get you a goal or to win you something out of nothing. Because we needed that quite a few times last season. But in and around, he's more than just being on the pitch. I think his presence and everything what he's brought to our club, in and around the club, I think he's needed. I think he's got that stature about him. Obviously, he's won trophies at Man City, so he knows what it's about winning. Him and Zinchenko. I think we can win the league with Jesus, but I just think that we need somebody else behind him to push him.
Oh, what, do you want to sign another striker? Or do you think Nketiah can be that man?
I don't think Nketiah can be that man.
He's decent against Forest, wasn't he?
He scores a lot, man.
He does score a lot. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I think if you want to take it to the next level, because you've got players like Isaac, for example. If he was in our squad, I think he would get at least 15, 16 goals easy. So
good he is.
he's very good. And you've got strikers all around. Ollie Watkins, I think he's a good striker in our system. He'll get goals. You've got obviously Haaland, who's going to score loads of goals for Man City. So Jesus is good, but I just don't think it's enough.
But the way you said it, I think is very Arsenal. I'm not saying that every club can go and spend hundreds of millions, but you've proven that you can. The way you said Jesus needs someone to push him up, he'll never be pushed up to a world-class level. So the way you should have said it, in my opinion, if I was an Arsenal fan, you need someone that he needs to look up to. He needs an Osman ahead of him.
Did you see that
do you know what I mean?
Alvarez touch? Did you see
Yeah,
what that Alvarez assist for Foden
Yeah, but
with
Booth,
the chest?
Amazing. But
Osman,
Arsenal need a world-class striker now. Look
but
at
no one's gonna get
Bayern Munich
Osman.
getting Harry Kane and all that, and these kind of strikers going around. You need to improve in that regard. Do you know what I mean?
love to get Osman. But what Jesus is going to do, if we're still in and around it, it's still a top 2 or top 3, and he comes back, he gives out that extra push. Okay, Jesus is back, so we know we've got something different.
He'll score
different dynamic.
He's got a great record in the Champions League, by the way. He'll
He'll
score
score
goals in the
goals.
Champions
He'll do
League.
good for Arsenal. I think he's done better for Arsenal than he did at Man City. As a player, as a player, Buvey.
What do you mean?
He expresses himself. He's more better. He's more open. He's
missing
more
from
free.
5 yards out against Southampton and all
Yeah,
that.
but
Do you know what I mean?
I've seen your striker Haaland miss from 5 yards out with headers.
Okay.
He takes a lot more pressure on at Arsenal as well, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you
because
can say
at
Jesus,
City there's a lot-
Jesus was fantastic. It started last season for Arsenal. Got the injuries, unlucky. You can't discredit his time at City. He wasn't just this kind of utility
No,
player that
obviously
people
at
talk
City
about.
he's in a better
There were moments
system.
he was unbelievable. When he first joined the club, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, but Buvey, he's in a better system. He's in a better
course,
team.
of course,
He's getting coached by a better coach. So obviously he's going to get goals.
A better
Sterling got
coach.
goals. Sane got goals. Everyone got goals who plays for City. I'm saying in and around Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think he's
Do something a bit more special.
he's
maybe.
doing something.
Unique.
I think he's taken on the role as okay. I'm the
Yeah.
number 1 striker. And I think he's expressing himself. I think he's becoming more into himself as a man, and
That's
he's
true. That's
he's
very
taking
true.
on the role as the lone striker at this club,
Yeah.
and he knows what he has to do.
That's very true. And by the way, I don't want Arsenal to do well, but as a player, Jesus is very loved by City fans. And I do hope he does well on some level because he deserves it. It was a big move. He could have stayed at City. Do you know what I mean?
He definitely could have stayed there. But yeah, but going back to your point, Adam McKola, I thought that Havertz would have been the one to push him. To be fair, I think he would have played him as a second striker.
Mate.
Where do you think they brought? What do you think Havertz's main position is?
I think, personally, I think obviously we saw him as a Xhaka role because he's going to play him as an advanced 8 because there's going to be games and there's going to be times where Arsenal's going to dominate possession of the ball. We're going to be at the Emirates, everyone's going to have a low block and we're going to need to unlock passes and get goals. Granted, Xhaka had that, but he doesn't have the same prowess of scoring goals as Havertz. So cool, that's just one way of looking at it. But I think the thing with Havertz is that he's given us the option to go long.
You think that
yes.
because
Long.
he's tall?
Bro,
You think that?
did you see the game against Man City when we was going long and he was making it stick? I said it's an option.
Honestly, we cannot use the Community Shield as real football chat. Honestly, no, I'm not trying to discredit you, bro. We watched Liverpool smash City the previous season, and Nunes looked unplayable.
Respectfully, Buvey,
the Community Shield is honestly pre-season.
I don't care about Liverpool.
No, I'm just saying that Liverpool were amazing in the Community Shield at the KP Stadium the year before, and Nunes was amazing. We can't use that as credit in the bank. We can't use it.
But he created two opportunities.
What's that?
Oh no.
What's the KP Stadium?
Oh, the Community Shield was played at the KP Stadium last
King
year.
Power.
Yeah, yes, KP Stadium.
Was it?
They called
King
it the
Power?
KP Stadium. Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Oh wait, I didn't know that.
Was it?
Why
Yeah.
wasn't it played at Wembley? Because the women's World Euros.
Someone's going to have to check in the back,
It's a
but it was
beautiful
played at Leicester
stadium,
City
though. I
Stadium.
love that stadium, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it was the Euros because it was.
Sounds about right.
England women won the Euros there, didn't
I know what
they?
you're trying to say. Havertz doesn't hold the ball up very well. He hasn't got pace. He hasn't got control of midfield. He's not a good finisher.
You're a fan
He's not
of
good in
that
the air.
signing, Miles.
Oh my
Overall,
God, he's not. He's not
Is
a
he-
good finisher. Ain't got pace. Can't do what.
Well,
What are you
unless
doing,
anyone
Buvey?
disagrees with me.
no, I agree with every word you're saying.
Nah, and you're. Come on.
but has he got pace then? Has he got pace?
You think it's a
Raw
good
pace.
signing then, yeah?
I think it's a decent sign. I don't think it's the best.
But
It's not the
don't you
signing I
think it needs to be a
wanted.
great signing for the money you've paid for him?
No,
Because you
not
could have gone and
necessarily.
got a...
Because it's squad
60
depth.
million quid
You
ain't
know everything
nothing.
Buvey was saying there when he was reeling them off. What would you challenge? So Buvey went. Buvey. What was your argument?
He's got
Is that
no
doing
he's
one
got-
at a time.
All right, no pace.
Okay, I wouldn't say he hasn't got no pace. I wouldn't say he's the fastest, but he can run.
Okay, so pace isn't
What
a
would
quality
you
of his
consider
game.
as pace,
That's
though?
fine. It doesn't have. By the way,
So what's-
David Silva didn't have pace. So I'm not saying he has to have pace. So he doesn't have pace. He's not. What's his goal record? His goal record's shocking. He's not a good finisher of the ball.
I think he can finish. If
What's his goal record at Chelsea? 1 in 8 or
Yeah,
something.
but look who he was playing under. Look at the system
Mate,
he was
he's
in.
playing for the European champion.
Yeah, but when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, boys, how many goals was he getting? in there?
Leverkusen.
It's a different league.
Yeah, but it's-
All right, so we've established he's not quick
Listen,
and he's not a good finisher. Can he
a
control
decent finisher.
midfield at the base of midfield,
Nah, I
not
don't
the
think he
ball
should be
around
I
control?
don't think he should be a midfielder.
All right, okay.
Because I'm being completely honest. When we playing against Nottingham Forest, he looked lost.
Good touch.
Exactly, that's the
He
point.
looked lost in that eight.
Is he Odegaard in terms of getting the ball on the pivot first time into
He's
striker's
not better
feet?
than Odegaard in that
No, I
position.
know.
Exactly.
We know
So
that.
he's not even as
We
good as
know
Odegaard. So
And do you know the thing about him being the foil, playing up front, maybe with his back to goal? You think he'd be good at that because he's big, 6'3", and he's a
6'4".
lump. But
He's
he's a cowardly footballer. You can't play up to
soft
him.
as anything.
Yeah, but
You can't
listen,
play
he's
up to him at all.
Listen, I think it's not the signing that Arsenal fans wanted. Nobody even mentioned him. None of us want him. None of us said, okay, we need Havertz. But I think I'm giving him a chance. I'm
So
giving him
are
a
you just being optimistic?
Yeah, I'm
You don't
being
really want him, but you're just being
optimistic.
optimistic.
Nah,
That's fair enough. That's loyal.
What about Vieira? He signed him for 35 million quid. You know,
Yeah, but
that was a similar role. Similar role.
Yeah, but look who he has to replace. Odegaard. He can't replace Odegaard.
I'm not saying replace him, but
Compliment
Havertz has come in. You've already got Vieira in the squad who didn't play last season. You got Emil Smith-Rowe from the academy, fantastic talent.
Yeah, he can
he's
play.
he's going to get limited now because of this Havertz guy.
Oh!
Yeah, but it's about squad depth though.
Yeah, of course.
Because now we're in the Champions League and the quality of players can't drop when you're in the Champions League. And
I
trying
think
to
you'd
go
be better going for Lavia, someone like that, a bit more energy
Robust,
in midfield,
innit?
a bit more
We
robust.
don't need Lavia.
Was that a
Definitely.
penalty?
No.
If Rice gets injured this season, you've already lost Timber. You're in a world of pain.
Yeah, but that's like me. If you lose Rodri, what pain are
But
you
we're
in?
not, because City have established a squad where we can win things. We've won league titles without De Bruyne. We've won league titles without a striker, with Aguero leaving the club.
So if you
We've
lose
won
Rodri,
back-to-back Prem without a
who
striker.
goes in that six
No,
now?
you mentioned Rodri as the one big example, but everyone else is backup.
yeah, because you
in that
mentioned
hypothetical, would Calvin Phillips be?
No, he wouldn't be, unfortunately. Kovacic would probably be the deepest, and then you'd have Bernardo and Phil Foden.
It's not the end of the world, is
It's
it?
not the end of the world. And obviously injuries are very
Be
rarely
interesting
season
to
long.
see. So overall, Miles, this Kai Havertz signing, although you've kind of conceded it wasn't the dream or what you
Nah, it's
expected.
not the dream.
Do you think this will work, or are you really skeptical?
I'm skeptical because,
Fair.
and I'm saying that because, like I said, when I saw him against,
Nice play, City, man.
it's not
That
goal.
was really
That's right.
weird
Really
from
nice
Newcastle
football,
there
man.
because their defensive line so deep, their attacking line was so far up the pitch, and then you just had Foden, Alvarez, and Haaland left alone.
This is
Look at
Eddie,
this.
but this
Look at
is
the
Eddie
pace.
Howe, isn't it? This is overcommitting and being exploited.
Bournemouth, innit?
Well, to be fair, they are 1-0 down. I've got to try and chase it.
It's
But
not now.
look at this now.
41st minute,
Look,
mate. To do
everyone's running back to
You
goal.
keep it 1-0 to the second half.
mate, you're being really kind to Howe here. To say, okay, they're 1-0 down.
I was the first one that called that out by
No,
now.
absolutely. But when I said this is Howe making a mistake, you went, oh, they're 1-0 down, they're going to have to go for it. 41st minute.
Yeah, I know.
Go 2-0 down, the
I
game's
agree
over.
with you. I'm just saying, I kind of get they've got to attack it, but you can't leave
No.
that gap.
Mate,
in
the longer
between.
this game is 1-0, the better for Newcastle.
100%.
Just stay 1-0, 1-0, 1-0,
100%.
80th minute, hope for the best.
100%.
You can't be going for the jugular now. You'll lose 4-0.
They're so open. Yeah,
How do you think Newcastle? I know they finished fourth or in the top four. How do you think they approach it this season? Like, we just want to do as
Consolidate.
good as we can.
I think the word I would say for Newcastle, consolidate. So be the top four. Become the establishment. Right.
B1 with top 4.
Yeah. Become
A top 4 club.
Yeah, become that. Like become that non-negotiably. Like, and I'd say the way you do that is consistently finishing in it for 5 years.
Yeah,
like become
it's slightly easier because of the top 5 thing as well.
Yeah,
the
become
extra
one of
spot.
become a Champions League club almost non-negotiably. You know the way that we kind of
see. Which is difficult because you look at United, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Yeah.
You said there, try and sustain that for 5 years.
Yeah.
Over the last 5 years, there's been periods of time when those 3 clubs haven't been in.
No, I think you can have the
very
odd,
difficult.
Yeah, but you know with Arsenal, for example, or even Manchester United are probably a better example. Manchester United, I think, since Fergie, have played more games in the Europa League than they have the Champions League. But in my head, Manchester United are still a Champions League club.
Yeah, because of the expectations they have.
Yeah.
Every season
They're
you go,
still
they should finish in the top
exactly.
4.
They're still a Champions League club. Even Arsenal, Arsenal have a fairly pitiful record in Europe and haven't been in the Champions League for a while. But in my head, they're still
When
a
was
club
the
that
last
will
time?
expect.
6
They wouldn't
years
have been
ago.
in it for
6
long,
years ago.
half a
16.
decade. Yeah.
What, Arsenal?
16,
Yeah, 6
17.
years ago.
10-2 Bayern.
Who was your manager?
No, it was.
Yeah, it was
I'm
10-2
asking.
Bayern.
I'm not
Bloomberg.
sure.
There's
I'm not sure.
15-3 in the last 3 games between Arsenal and Bayern, 15-3.
Yeah.
What do you think if
Wenger.
you play Bayern now, though? I think we'll destroy Bayern.
No.
Kane scores a hat-trick, mate. Kane scores a hat-trick.
Are you crazy?
Kane scores a hat-trick at the end of
These guys
They
got
beat you home and away.
Goretzka. These guys got
They
Goretzka,
beat you home and away.
Kimmich, Harry Kane,
Bayern
got
Munich beat
Musiala,
everyone in the
Sane,
Prem. They beat you
Gnabry.
home and away.
from City.
Not one Arsenal player gets into the Bayern
They
Munich
beat you home
side.
and away.
No. Calm down.
Buvey, man.
Give me one.
Calm down.
Maybe
Calm
Saliba,
Calm
Rice.
down.
Saliba, Rice.
Saka
Saliba
gets in.
No.
Sorry, fine.
I don't know about wingers,
Sane.
you know.
Sane is
They
not
got
on the
Sane.
same level.
You give me
Mane,
3, mate. You give me
Gnabry.
3. There's 11 to go.
One,
So,
Mane's gone. Sane,
I
Gnabry.
think Saka get in their team.
yeah, Saka,
don't
Rice,
know.
Kane.
Saka,
Saliba.
Saka, Rice, Saliba. The
Saliba.
fullbacks don't go. Kimmich
Saka.
is there.
Mate, when you
Goretzka's
say
there.
Rice, when you think about who they got there, does
Someone's
Rice
going to have to
get
let us know in the
midfield?
chat. I'm
Does
trying
Rice
to
get
think.
in
Who's the
their
third? Musiala
Who's it?
gets
Musiala?
in.
Saka, I think does, and then I'll
Goretzka. Is it Musiala,
Saka over
Goretzka,
Sane,
and
definitely.
Kimmich?
Kimmich, yeah.
The
lick at the back.
I don't know if
Strong
I don't know if
yeah, but
Rice
they got
gets
that
it.
Kim Min Jae there.
Yeah, he's fantastic. as well.
Saliba takes him out all day.
Ooh.
He's just won a league
I
title.
agree with that.
Kim Min-jae's
But Kim Min Jae was
I think
was
it's a league
immense
title.
for Napoli.
I think
He's won a
Saliba
league
gets it.
title, man.
Come on, man.
If Kim Min Jae's in his Napoli form, though.
Yeah, but
I
we
think
it's not that clear
Saliba's
cut.
in his Premier League form.
Come on,
Saliba
boys.
gets it.
He
Come
just
on,
won the
boys.
Scudetto.
Yeah, but we could have
I'm not-
potentially won the Premier League if he never got
You
injured.
did win the
Potentially.
Luton could potentially win the Premier
but
League.
he-
But it wasn't there.
You
though.
did potentially win
Kingsley
anything. You didn't win
Coleman,
nothing. that's the fact.
Sane, Musiala, that's some team. Goretzka,
Does
Kimmich.
Saka
Saka don't
get
get
in?
in
don't
above
get in.
Sane.
Does
No,
Saka
he don't.
get in over Sané? Yeah, he does.
He does. No, he doesn't.
It depends how you play.
Over Sané, bro.
Tuchel wouldn't start him.
What do you think?
Over Sané.
Maybe 3 right wingers in the world right now that's better than Saka. 3, even 2.
I'm
Right
agreeing with
Salah.
Miles.
Salah's better.
Yeah, that's one. That's the
Salah,
one. That's the one
Sané,
I'm thinking.
Bernardo
of.
Silva.
You're having a
as a
laugh.
right winger.
You're having a laugh.
Riyad Mahrez.
Riyad Mahrez.
You're
No,
having
he's
a
gone
laugh.
to Saudi. You can't.
He's
having
still
a
at that
laugh.
level. He just won a
Riyad Mahrez
Champions
better than
League
Saka.
3 months
He's
ago.
not at that level because he's gone to Saudi. Like you,
All right, fine,
in
fine,
previous
fine.
conversation have
Fine, yeah,
Rory,
that's
give,
right.
Rory, give it to them. Salah,
Who's
Mahrez.
your right back?
Salah, Mahrez, go on.
Mahrez doesn't get in.
Who's the
over
third
Saka.
person? Who's the
Mahrez
third best
isn't better
right
than
winger?
Saka
I've already
today.
said 3 wingers that better than.
Sana.
Who's your right
Sana.
back?
Mahrez, hang on.
Ben
This
White.
needs establishing. Mahrez isn't better than Saka
Yes,
today.
he is.
He's
He
not.
isn't.
He's not.
Yes,
But I
he
said he can have
Actually,
it.
No, but
maybe
you
is,
can't.
actually.
You can't.
not.
I think
He might be.
You
actually.
can't concede. You
He's not.
give him an inch, you'll take a mile.
I said
You can't give him anything. No.
You have to
He
concede
said
that.
Sane because he turned up yesterday for the first time in how many years?
Good goal.
Mane's
Good
immense,
goal. You see that
bro.
goal he scored?
Oh, well, when was that?
No.
Saka's been
He's a
in this for
Champions League
years.
proven winger.
Let's all the gas aside.
Yeah.
Saka's better than Sane. Sane's
Thank you.
gone. I saw him
Thank
against City in the Champions League quarter-final. He's gone.
Saka's
He's gone.
better than Mahrez as well.
Sane's nowhere near where he should
Saka
be.
ain't better than Mahrez.
He is better than Mahrez today.
Today he
he
is.
is today. He's hasn't got a better Premier League
I feel
legacy.
like I'm going insane.
So who would you rather at your club, Saka or Mahrez? You'll take Mahrez
I
over
think Mahrez is possibly outside of Salah the best right winger in the
But
world.
I think it gets
I think he was
discounted because
that.
he's in Saudi Arabia.
But he's
It's
just
a
gone to
reti-
Saudi
yeah, but he's a
Arabia.
retirement
It's like
community.
saying, it's like
but
regarding
you
Harry
wouldn't say
Kane.
even one week
You
of
wouldn't say
training at
Benzema's
that
one of the
standard.
best strikers in the world today now, would you? You wouldn't think
Kante's gone.
Like he's
No,
the
but
current
Benzema
Ballon
was
d'Or.
going down
No, but
anyway.
Benzema's the Ballon d'Or holder.
Exactly.
So?
Mate, 2 weeks of training
my
at that
point.
standard,
if,
you're off.
If that's so, I ain't got nothing else to say. That's my point.
So?
You went, so?
I don't know why I said
That's my point. I can't help you then. I ain't got nothing else to say to that.
So we've a good point.
Yeah, if I say something and you go, so, I'm like,
What have we all
it's the end of
agreed
it,
on?
really,
What
isn't
have we all agreed on? What have
don't
we
know
all
what to say
agreed on?
here.
We've agreed 2 people from Arsenal get in the Bayern Munich side.
Yeah,
That's
2. I
embarrassing.
think that's fair.
Free.
Not embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Bayern Munich are an immense team.
How much have they spent?
But I also think it's
Spent more than
Bayern.
Bayern.
Who's your right
more
back?
than Bayern?
Bayern
Who's
Munich,
your-
how much money do they spend every year?
No,
No, they're
you
not
spent more than
spenders.
Bayern.
Oh,
They're not. They ain't spenders.
Someone in the
Ramsdale
back
might be.
room, someone in the
They nick from
production
the- Morris
office.
spent more than
Who
them.
spent more in the last
Come
4
on,
years?
boys.
How
How
many
many?
spent
Ramsdale
more?
gets in. Better than Ulrich.
Raya.
Who?
Raya.
Ulrich.
I thought we were going Neuer just for. Just
No,
for
he's
chat.
injured,
He's
isn't
injured.
Yeah, but if
Badly.
everyone's
Yeah,
fit,
Neuer, obviously.
If he's
but,
fit.
But he's
Who
badly
plays
injured.
right back?
Ben White. Benjamin
Benjamin or Mazrui?
White.
Upamecano.
Yeah, but Pavard would be.
No, go on.
I think it'd be Kim Min-jae and Saliba.
No, Delict.
Oh, wait.
De Ligt.
I forgot about De Ligt.
Who's the left back?
No, Delete and
Davis.
Saliba.
Alfonso Davis.
Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, Alfonso.
I reckon
Bro,
it's
you've got-
really...
you've got two.
Saliba gets in, Saka gets in.
Listen,
After that, I think it's trickier. But those two are in, definitely. If you go
100%.
those two players to Tuchel, if you go those two
Who's that
players
left
to
winger?
Tuchel,
Gnabry?
Tuchel plays them.
Gnabry. It was
No,
Gnabry.
it's not.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be Gnabry. It's
Gnabry,
Coleman.
I guess
Do you remember
Kingsley
Tony
Coleman as
Pulis
well.
got rid of Gnabry? He's
Is
like,
he?
nah, this
Kingsley
geezer ain't got
Coleman.
it.
He used to go on. He used to go on
Ain't got
podcasts
it.
saying
So did
he was
Arsenal,
no
didn't
good at
Yeah.
and all that.
No,
Tony Pulis,
Yeah.
which wears a stupid
Tony
cap.
Pulis about Gnabry.
Is
Nah.
Kingsley Coleman better than?
Yeah. He's a World Cup winner, Champions League.
My left winger.
There's a comment which says
Martinelli?
Thomas Partey should get into their team.
Kingsley Coleman or Martinelli?
Martinelli's good, you know.
Martinelli.
Yeah.
Martinelli.
Martinelli.
Over
Three.
Coleman.
So it'll be Saka, Martinelli, and Kane.
No, it's not Saka in mine.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, and
It's
Adam.
not Saka in mine.
Saka, Martinelli, and Kane.
No, I'll go. I wish Mane was still there so it could be Sane, Mane, and Kane. That'd be good.
Just called Kane Carney.
Harry Kane.
Harry
It's half
Carney.
time, I think.
Right, it's half time, 1-0 to the City.
What a goal, Julian Alvarez.
Yeah, we've got to shout out Super 6. If you haven't already joined the league, join the league. Club 23 on the Super 6
How many have
app.
we got today?
Must be over 8,100, I'm guessing.
So what would that
8,100.
mean?
Can someone let me know in my ear, please? Mean what?
In terms of how many did we get today?
We did a K a day, apparently. That's a fantastic rate. Thank you so much. If you haven't already joined, Club 23 on the app.
We've got 8,041 people
Oh.
in our
We
league
just
right
lived
now.
over the 8.
Club
I held my breath for that.
23. Come on.
That's a
You
lot.
want to get another
Look,
K
here's
today.
the reality, lads. I will eat a goldfish the size of your arm if you join. It's Club 23. So you have to send it to me, post it to London somewhere, and I'll eat a goldfish. I want 10.
You nearly said his address. You nearly said his address. Post it to me at London somewhere. Yeah, maybe not even London, actually.
Post it. I want it alive. I want to see it before. Don't post
Random-
it.
Wait,
dead.
you want to see it alive before
Well, I
you
don't-
eat it?
What
I
are
don't
you,
want
some
dead
kind of
fish in the
sicko?
post.
So what are you, some kind of sicko?
No, I'd kill
You're
it with
sick in the head.
compassion.
I always think that's a dodgy one.
He'll drug it to death.
He'll drown it.
I always think that's a dodgy one. You know in fish restaurants when they're like, do you want to go choose your lobster? Like, no, I'm not meant to.
That is weird,
Of course I
actually,
don't.
when people do that. Yeah.
Also, like, you know how we see lobster as like a... I actually like lobster considering I don't like seafood, but you know how we see it as like a rich food? It's not, innit? It's like lobster used
was
to be for
never
poor
meant to,
people back
yeah.
in the day.
No, but it's like pasta, isn't it? It's like pasta. Like, you know, when you go to, if you go to Cicconi's in the West End, costs you a fortune. The point of pasta is to feed big families
Yeah.
as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
They think it's mental when we're spending 30 quid on like a tiny bit of pasta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or ravioli for 30 quid.
There we go.
Have a fucking day off.
How did Manchester City replace De Bruyne, Booth?
It's an absolutely interesting question.
Yeah.
I actually think we're one step towards that replacement with Kovacic. I think he's been fantastic. It's only been a couple of. Look, I know you don't like him. At least,
No,
at
hang on,
least,
Booby. Do you know what I think is important to establish here?
Yeah.
I do like Kovacic. I
Yeah.
do rate him,
Yeah.
but I think it's almost insane to compare Kovacic and Kevin De Bruyne.
No, I'm not trying to. Obviously, I'm not trying to compare them. And City have a kind of level of creativity that you couldn't get from any other player with De Bruyne. He's a generational talent. He's unbelievable. But City have literally gone on to win Premier Leagues when he's been out for 9 months. Do you know what I mean? Serious, like big wins, big victories by playing simple. Ilkay Gundogan in midfield with Rodri, keeping it simple. I think Kovacic can operate in that Ilkay Gundogan role, keeping it very simple. He can drive through midfield. And then I think the big factor that we've seen in recent games, even in this one against Newcastle, Phil Foden in midfield. He can drive at people. He is very creative. It's a different kind of creativity from De Bruyne. He can be a bit deeper, whip it. Foden can drive at defenses.
That's the key. I've got an issue with that. You know, when you said a bit deeper and whipping it, if you think about the brilliance of Haaland, right? Think about what he's excellent at. And think about when you think about the way that Man City score goals, the way that Man City score goals, for the furtherance of Man City, what you could do is get Haaland on the end of stuff, right? So, the way that you do that is get Kevin De Bruyne picking the ball up in that channel, that right channel, on De Bruyne's right, whip it, Haaland's left.
Yeah. And
Haaland's left foot, right? It's different in the air, but Haaland's left.
Yeah.
Nobody else does that in the team. Because Foden, great,
No, yeah.
but he's not going to whip it from the right onto...
And we don't have the overlapping fullbacks anymore. We've got the inverted fullback, so Kyle Walker's not going around anyone and whipping it first time either.
Exactly.
So,
I'd say that Haaland's best attribute is that cross that comes in and then the inside of his left foot.
Yeah.
And the ball ends up. Whereas when he scores from the other side, when it's whipped in from the other side, he does that weird, amazing, but that weird contortion of his body where he like jumps up and gets ahead of the ball and bicycle kicks it or cuts his body in half and back heels it with his left foot. So losing De Bruyne, if you go Foden, I'm not for 1 second not acknowledging the brilliance of Phil Foden, but it's not going to bring out the best in Haaland.
But we don't know what... I honestly have this big argument in my head that I don't think we've seen the best of Foden. I know he scored 52 goals last season in 53 appearances. I don't think he's got...
Foden.
No, I'm sorry, Haaland. We've not seen the best of Haaland.
I was like, what?
Sorry.
I must have had a long kip.
Sorry, I'm talking about Haaland. We've not seen the best of Haaland. So the way you're talking about the kind of goals that he scores is absolutely bang on. Last season, he scored a lot from De Bruyne whipping it on his right foot. I think Haaland's at the age where he can still get things from different positions. He can learn a different way of being a striker.
Sorry, you just got distracted.
One
of the things that I think De Bruyne is one of the biggest victims of, when you look over the last 4 or 5 years, the amount of football some of these top flight players have had to play. When you look at he's had to play so much for Belgium, so much for Manchester City, been a key part. I think when you look at him and the amount of injuries and the type of injuries he's get, his career's
it's not looking
hammered and hampered by what's going on right now. I think you're seeing time being taken off.
I'm frustrated by the situation. I don't know why. I mean, I saw
he had no preseason, bro.
Yeah,
why did he start that game?
Exactly. In the Champions League, he looked absolutely knackered, and everyone was talking after the Champions League final that he wouldn't play for 6 to 9 months. He was out for ages. To rush him back against Burnley, of all sides, with all due respect, was a really weird one.
Does that show you that Pep
was on the
is
bench.
worried about the alternative options too?
I was about to say, he doesn't trust his other players.
I don't think it was a trust
Buvey,
thing.
it has to be that.
I don't think it was a trust thing.
You're being too kind. It has to be.
I think you see De Bruyne, you think he's fit, and then you think, well, let's just try and get him back to that level.
Do you know a similar example of this? A similar example. The only thing I can draw on is Reece James. Reece James was rushed back for the first game after the World Cup when he obviously wasn't ready. He'd done the same injury because we didn't trust the other option. If Kevin De Bruyne got injured to miss a Champions League final, or taken off, right? He then has the whole summer, and now he's gone for surgery as the season started. It obviously meant he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So the surgery should have happened when the injury was done during the summer, and they acknowledge that they don't start the season with him. Instead of that, they've clearly tried to rush. And the reason they've tried to rush. The reason they tried to rush is
Didn't
because...
play much, if at all.
The reason they've tried to rush is clearly because, and can only be because, they don't trust the other options.
I don't know if it's trust. I think it might be because of Ilkay Gundogan and then De Bruyne. He doesn't want both of them to be out the side. But as a fan, I think you could have trusted Kovacic. I thought he was fantastic in pre-season. You could have trusted Bernardo Silva, who's going to stay. It's not like Bernardo Silva is kind of halfway out the door. I think Bernardo Silva is a talking point that we have to have here, because City are linked to a winger in Doku. So Doku can be the winger on the right side. Mahrez isn't there anymore. And then you've got those midfield options of Kovacic, Rodri, Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva in midfield is as good as anyone, and he has to play on the right. That's how good he is
do you
in
miss
two
him?
positions.
Do you miss him elsewhere? If you put him there, it leaves a hole elsewhere.
Yeah, if it was the Champions League final tomorrow, Bernardo Silva would probably start in midfield because you need that control without Ilkay Gundogan. But as the season progresses, I'm hoping Phil Foden's a generational talent. I think in midfield he can learn how to control the game as opposed to be driving.
Him the way that the world seems to think he should play?
He does. He's played him in big games already. He played him against PSG in the run to the Champions League final against Chelsea in midfield. He was dictating play in Paris. He was fantastic. He's doing it. He did it in the Super Cup. He's doing it against Newcastle
stepping
tonight.
into De Bruyne's role.
Phil Foden's
in the first 45 minutes here, Phil Foden's created 5 chances. So he has kind of...
No.
I know you're not...
The thing is, I think Phil Foden's brilliant. My
issue.
issue is, and this is what I'd love to know the answer to, it's not whether I think he's brilliant. I think he is.
But
I don't think Pep thinks he is.
Yeah.
I don't think Pep thinks he's as good as we do.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
Everyone else.
He doesn't trust him. He doesn't play... Like, Phil Foden's not young. Do you know what I mean?
But Phil Foden's competing with... He's not competing with another academy players, but competing with a generation. Some people regard De Bruyne as one of the best to ever play in the Premier League, so that's one player. And then Ilkay Gundogan, who was in his prime, scoring big goals in the FA Cup final, big goals to get us to the Champions League final.
But you have a team that requires a squad.
Yeah,
and you have 4 positions behind the striker where Foden can play all of them.
And he does play a lot of football. He came on in the Champions League final and influenced the game, and no one talks about that from rival fans.
So is Foden the replacement for De Bruyne in the long term?
Of course he is. Definitely. Of course he should be. The big game we have to talk about, he was the replacement in the biggest game in the club's history, the biggest result in the club's history. And
ahead of other options as well, ahead of Mahrez. He
was fantastic. He's into Milan.
This is a great opportunity for him to capitalise on, obviously, detrimental for you, for Kevin De Bruyne's injury. If he wants to take that position by the scruff of the neck and show Pep Guardiola, you don't need to buy anyone. I can do this 10 role and this creative role by myself. this is a good season. This is a good time for him.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I think if it's not now, though, if he doesn't do what you're suggesting, at that if we're sitting here in a year and we're again debating, is Guardiola fancying Foden? How good is Foden? If we're still doing that, I think that it's getting to the point where he needs to either deliver to City standard, or we've got to have a serious exploration.
I don't know why Phil Foden gets. Is it because it's the English thing? Because there are examples throughout many players' careers at City where Ruben Diaz at a big point last season he wasn't played. De Bruyne at points wasn't
Diaz
played.
Hadn't been at the club for.
No, I'm saying that last season he was fully fit. Ruben Diaz and City fans were absolutely livid. He wasn't playing football, and Akanji. So Phil Foden's played. He played over 40 games last season. I know a lot of them are sub appearances, but Phil Foden has played a lot of football. He's won 5 Premier League titles. It's absolutely crazy. So I know what you're saying.
When we look at some of the young superstars that have come through previously, like Wayne Rooney and that, and then you look at the end of their career and you're like, fucking hell, he's played so much football in the first 9 years of his career.
Yeah.
He's blasted out now. Foden may benefit from that where latter stages of his career has got a bit more.
Yeah. I feel like Bellingham's got that. Bellingham has played so much football.
Yeah, you were saying that stat last week.
But my thing is with Foden, it's all well and good, and we all know he's great. He's a creative player. He's fantastic. I think he can definitely play that 10 role or that creative role. It's all good doing it in the Premier League, but I think Pep, I don't know, if he doesn't play him in the Champions League in the 10 role, then I'd say I don't think Pep trusts him.
Is that his best position?
100%. I never used to like see Phil Foden on the right wing. He's too creative for that.
No, you're bang on.
And he's not a wing. He's not a winger either, is he? Yeah.
The wing. He's a 360 player. He could see it all, the whole pitch. Phil Foden, if he plays in Champions League and he has great performance in Champions League, high pressure games, top performances against top teams, then I'd say, okay, cool.
He's off to a good start. I mean, he's super young. He did it against Inter Milan, a side that were very hard. Brozovic in midfield. Unbelievable midfield, aggressive midfield. He was fantastic.
Do you need to sign another one? We've seen you linked with a few names. You've made a few bids that haven't gone anywhere and don't look to be going anywhere now.
Yeah.
You've been linked with Danny Olmo.
Eze as well.
Do you see yourselves taking a dip back into the market? Or?
I honestly, I'd love Doku because we need pace in the side. We need wingers, and then you've got Cole Palmer there that can kind of play there as well. A player that
I don't think. How good's Cole Palmer?
I like him.
Is he Man City good? I know he's a good footballer, but is he Man City good?
You're probably more on the wavelength of Pep as opposed to I'm a City fan.
A lot of people say that about me. A lot of people say that about me.
I think it's bang on. I might be being a bit biased. Maybe Cole Palmer isn't quite that standard, but I think he'll be given a go this season at the very least.
I'm just not convinced that he's as good as you tell me he is, to be totally honest.
I think he's got a good seat. If he gets given a good opportunity, he'll have a good ceiling this season. And James McAtee's come back from being on loan at Sheffield United last season. Some of the goals he scored for Sheffield United, he scored an unbelievable goal against Blackpool away, if you remember that. Running through the whole side. So James McAtee's an unbelievable talent. So we've got options there.
Do you think Palmer should have gone out on loan and got first team football week in, week out, and that would have helped his development instead of being a bit part player for this Man City team?
Well, I don't know.
Playing though,
he started in the Super Cup.
Yeah, he's playing, but Pep's done this. Who's the little? Was it Lewis? Rico Lewis.
At the start of last season.
He
uses them to challenge the other players, but they do play. And if he plays,
of course,
let's say he plays 20 games for City, that's better than 35 games for some others. For some other mid-table.
Training with the likes of Bernardo Silva is going to do him the world.
And he does look like he's gonna play a lot.
Yeah. But like you said, he's in for Doku. Sorry, just if they're in for another right winger, he might not get in.
We've already turned down bids of around £30 million for Cole Palmer. So I think Pep.
But that might just
highly.
that might be because you don't think that's enough money for him, rather than because you rate him.
That's true.
Like I just don't think. Look, you know more, and I do obviously defer to your knowledge on it.
He's a decent player.
It's just when I watch Cole Palmer, I think he's a good player. I just don't think he's City good.
That's fair enough. He'd say a right winger cutting in on his left, I think.
I think he's a good player, man.
Yeah, right wing.
Got a good goal in him.
Good isn't up. Everyone at Man City is good. It's whether you're good enough to play for City.
You know what it is at City? You can afford to have those 2 or 3 academy players just in and out on the fringe because you need it. Look, this is
with Foden at that age,
but you need that spine of
Lewis is a great example. Lewis is a great example. With Lewis, he immediately looks City quality, and even if there's a rustiness or an issue, you know that ultimately the player is there and he will thrive at Man City for the next decade. I truly believe that. I don't think the same about Palmer.
You know when you're good though, and when you're winning everything. We've seen it on the
Yeah.
third.
Yeah, you bring confidence,
you,
man.
you can have a couple of them side
I don't
managers
think
there.
Palmer's not the answer to the De Bruyne injury anyway. It's directly Phil Foden. I think someone that we've not talked about is Alvarez, because Alvarez will be asked to drop in the hole like he is against
It's
Newcastle.
just a different way of playing as well, isn't it?
Pep will change the system. You know, he played. He'll play good against
Haaland
a
does
false
miss
nine.
De Bruyne though. Do you think? Let's say,
Yeah, massively.
let's say, obviously you'll touch wood. You don't want it to happen from your perspective, and I don't wish an injury on anyone. But let's say De Bruyne missed most or all of the season. I'd see Haaland's numbers dropping by 10, 15.
Yeah, agreed.
100%.
Just that cross alone move that we spoke about at the beginning.
true. Yeah.
That cross from the right,
Yeah.
Haaland's left goal.
But you can never discredit a genius like Pep Guardiola. He'd find a way of getting that from the left. He'd find a way of Phil Foden slotting it in
But then
between
it's
the
being
right
crossed.
back.
But it's being crossed into Haaland's right. That's
But
the problem.
Yeah, I'm not. I think you're bang on, but I think there's a small chance where Pep would find a way of getting those goals somewhere else
Yeah.
that we haven't really factored in.
Alvarez scores an addition. Adam said that it costs
we-
it costs Haaland 10. Alvarez finds another 10.
It might have cut. You know, we're talking about the De Bruyne replacement. It might have come in Gvardiol, where you can play a back three and have an extra man like wing backs potentially, and make a 3-5-2 sort of situation.
Yeah,
so
I do agree with that.
it's really interesting, but it's a massive miss. Whatever you say about the standard City side,
You confident you'll win this now? Players coming out 1-0 up. This is dream scenario, right?
I think they have to chase the game, and there'll be so much. I mean, we saw the space at the back end of the first half. I think there'll be a lot of space in the 65 minutes on kind of range of the game, and I think we'll beat them 2-3-0 now.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I don't think this goes. I don't think this goes past 2-0. No way. I think City gets one more goal, if that. And
What was your prediction? 3-3.
3-0, yeah.
I had 2-1
I thought they'd be
City.
better today, Newcastle. We've limited them in such a good way.
I had 2-1 Newcastle. I'm still in it.
They've not had a chance, have they? One chance. First
Mm,
half, Newcastle.
yeah, you've definitely been dominant.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. But that's City. City's going to dominate most games at home.
This is a
But-
hard game for us
But
based
when
on our Newcastle. You know, they're one of the best sides in the league, and
No,
it's
this is
relatively
I mean,
straightforward.
this is for Newcastle. This is their hardest away game of the season, and it's definitely hardest game of the season.
Definitely, yeah.
Miles, you can't give me that look. Can
Don't
you?
give me Arsenal. Didn't they take
What?
a point off you?
Hang on a
Didn't they
minute.
take a point for you?
Yeah, they got a draw.
yeah.
They got 0-0.
Didn't
Yeah.
they take a point with you last season?
Why are you bringing that up? You lost the league.
Just saying.
This is the hardest. Hang on, that's got to be in my entire life the least controversial thing I've ever said. Man City away is the hardest game of the season.
What you
For
thinking
Newcastle?
Anfield with
No,
the?
for anyone.
Oh yeah, but
What are you thinking Anfield? Because the atmosphere.
I was thinking Anfield.
They got no
It's
atmosphere
tough.
in Premier League games.
I think Anfield's more tougher to go away than Man City.
Let's find out. Adam can be the judge. Adam, I said something incredibly non-controversial, but it's provoked a bit of a reaction. I said flippantly, this is Newcastle's hardest game of the season, away at City. Do you agree?
Yeah. Away at City is everyone's hardest game.
That's what I said.
I'd say yeah. But I think Liverpool on the right day is a hard place.
Oh yeah, of
Anfield,
course. But
yeah.
it's on the right day. And I also think, obviously, for the big teams, and Newcastle are kind of becoming that now, but they're still not it. When Liverpool plays City, Spurs, Manchester United, then I think, but when they play against the Bournemouths and teams they maybe expect to beat, I think them teams have got so much of a chance against Liverpool.
I think those teams got more of a chance against City. I think City sometimes they take the eye off the ball. Obviously they'll dominate possession and that, but I think teams could get in and around.
But then it's just the thing with City is, and you can argue Liverpool, though less at the moment, and Liverpool had it about 2 seasons ago when City flipped that switch. They flipped the switch,
City,
and it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
I remember that game against Villa when they were going for the league.
But Liverpool's got that as well, though, Adam. Liverpool.
No, I have, but less so now because the team's changed so much.
Yeah.
Where before they could rely on, all right, we got Salah, Mane,
But
Firmino. We know that this is going to bring something eventually.
But we all know that Anfield's still a scary place to go. If you get 3 points at Anfield, no matter who's in their team, it's
But
still
again,
a good 3
it's
points.
like, you see when you went there last year and you're 2-0 up. I thought Xhaka, I know we make a lot of it. Oh, what's going
It
on
looks
here?
like something there.
Offside.
Offside.
Newcastle attacking really early, trying to get at City. Respect to them. When Arsenal rattled Liverpool's cage and then they get up for it.
Yeah.
But up until that point, you'd silenced it. You'd calmed the game down. You were winning. You were cruising that. And I think it's if you give Liverpool something,
Yeah.
then they are and obviously when they play Man United, it's something. It's a big game.
Even today, when they went 1-0 down against Bournemouth, it's okay, the fans just.
But then you know what happened? I think they did. I forgot the fella's name. There was an Everton fan that passed away this week, and they kind of did an applause for him. So the crowd got up.
Oh.
And
okay.
they scored straight after. They started singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," and they scored straight after. So they had a spark to the crowd. It was weird.
But they've got that anyway, though. Even regardless, without them singing "You'll Never Sing will never walk alone. If you go 1-0 up against Liverpool, 2-0, and their fans get behind them. But like you said, going to Man City it's a tough
United's most difficult game
is
Liverpool away.
Yeah, I think more
Same
than
for
Man
City.
You know, when the crowd come into
Yeah.
it and then everything else.
Yes.
That's the most difficult game for us in the
Yeah,
season.
definitely.
We didn't win at Anfield for 18 years.
Is it?
It was back at Nicholas Anelka
Oh wow.
was the last score, and then in a winning game.
Last time we beat Man City was Santi
Nicky
Cazorla.
Anelka was so good, wasn't he?
Santi Cazorla.
Yeah, Santi Cazorla.
How about
Last time we beat-
Shea
Arshavin when
Walcott?
he scored 4?
Nicholas Bentner was in that team.
Was he?
Was Arshavin's 4 in the FA Cup?
Bentner wasn't in
Arshavin
2016
scored 4
side.
against Liverpool, didn't he? In a
Arshavin?
game.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah, that's Liverpool. Yeah, that's away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Bentner
Yeah,
wasn't
that's what I
in-
was asking.
Bentner wasn't in 2016 side.
Nicholas Bentner.
Nah, trust me. That's easy ball knowledge.
Arshavin scored a great
We
goal
beat you 3-1.
at Old Trafford.
Bentner wasn't in the, wasn't in the
No, I'm
2016
thinking
side.
of the other guy that's
Giroud.
Yeah, Alvarez.
Who?
Giroud.
What?
Olivier Giroud.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Giroud's better than Alvarez.
He's not, man. He's not.
Come on, I don't want to bring that back up, but
It's one of those where he might have a better
Giroud
career.
deserves
Oh,
more
actually,
more respect.
100%. Giroud is one of the most
deserves a lot more respect.
one of the most graceful footballers to touch the Premier League.
No one talks about he won the league with Montpellier, didn't he?
Yeah,
In
top goal scorer.
Ligue 1. That mad one.
Newcastle started this half well.
Such
The
great
first 3.5 minutes.
Giroud's a better footballer than Haaland. No, Buvey, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay,
He's
give
a
me the
better
qualities.
He's a better. He could dribble better than him. He could better 1-2s.
He's not a
He's a
better
better.
dribbler.
He's a better footballer. He could play ball knowledge.
I
in and
get
around.
what you're saying, but you know what
He's
it
a
is.
smarter
He's a better-
footballer on
he's a
some
better
level. He's a bit
I
more
think
of
the
a...
all-round-
sheer amount of goals is
No,
You can't outweigh that.
Yeah, Haaland's a better goal scorer.
Both
than
players,
Giroud.
I get what you're
95%
trying
of
to
their
say.
jobs is to score goals.
Yeah, of course.
So
but Giroud
it's that
scored as
much.
well.
Not many. Not that many. He was a 1 in 3.
He's a better
kind of-
footballer then.
But the 5% of Haaland, maybe the little touch, the little being cute as a striker.
Miles
then
giving us some
Giroud's better.
clips today, you know.
Yeah, bro,
We had the
it's-
Bentner shout, this
I'm
shout.
being honest though.
Nah, I get what you're saying. Like
He's
bringing
a
the ball
goal
down,
machine.
bringing others into
He's a
play.
striker.
Giroud's probably better,
Yeah,
but
100%.
you also had a bigger.
I don't get
Like,
the Haaland
like
thing. I don't get
Giroud
it.
didn't have to worry about being on the shoulder all the time and trying to score goals. So maybe his hold-up play had to be better. Do you get it?
Bringing
Like
him, yeah.
Haaland don't have to worry about his hold-up play because he's like, all right, I'm going to spin in behind and score. So fuck my hold-up play.
I think he was a better all-round footballer.
I think the Haaland chat.
I just think
we
he's a
don't
goal machine.
understand what we're looking at with Haaland. I think
Haaland
he's
is
a
a
generational talent.
anomaly. You know, the body shape, everything. It's just wrong. Like he doesn't look like he should be a good footballer.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just a goal. He's an out-and-out goal scorer. It's like Harry Kane is a better footballer than Alan Shearer.
No, but
Alan Shearer was a
but
goal
I think
machine.
that argument
Harry
discredits
Kane's better at
Haaland.
everything than Alan Shearer, in my opinion.
But the Haaland debate, he gets discredited. He's so much
No, I'm not
better than. He's
discrediting
not
him.
just he's not Kevin Phillips and he's not Billy Sharp. Do you know what I mean? Haaland off the
Kevin
ball, he's fantastic. The way he holds. Remember the ball into Haaland, and he turns for De Bruyne to run on against Arsenal. That goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, that was a good
So
ball.
his
I've seen
hold up
Giroud
play
do
is
that a million
genius.
times.
Haaland's a genius footballer. He's more than just a poacher. He really is.
He's not a genius.
He's a
footballer.
genius footballer.
He's not.
He's a genius, man. Honestly, he is.
He might get there one day, but right now he's not a genius.
He's a Zlatan type footballer. Trust
No
me.
way, Zlatan. He wishes. Zlatan.
In terms of, I'm not saying it's a different kind of skill set.
Rory, am I wrong for saying that?
What was your statement? I heard Kevin Phillips and Billy Sharp mentioned, so I don't know what's going on.
That's the club bingo.
All right.
That's my one.
All-round footballer. I
Yeah.
said Olivier Giroud is a better footballer than Haaland.
No, I don't think that's controversial. I don't think that's a controversial
Thank you.
statement. I think Olivier Giroud would bring people into play
Yeah,
far
better
better
footballer.
than.
But that percentage of his role is about 1% of what he's
No,
meant to
that
do.
was-
He's,
Yeah,
he's meant to be
only-
a striker
only
to score
Haaland-
goals. He don't score goals.
No. I think Olivier Giroud. Part of what his brilliance was
Link up play.
allowing somebody like Eden Hazard to be the best he could be. Like Eden Hazard's best season for Chelsea was probably because of.
Olivier Giroud.
But that's not a
because
striker's
of Hazard.
priority, is it? That's an
No,
added bonus.
There's different ways
But he
to play the
brings in
centre
players
forward
around
role.
him.
There's
Yeah,
different ways
yeah.
to play the centre forward role. I mean, some play on the last shoulder and don't do anything for
What about
the team.
Haaland, De
Some
Bruyne?
might say if
Moses.
Rory's agreeing with you though, you're in trouble, Miles.
Nah, bro.
some would say that.
Congratulations, Rory. You
Some-
know ball.
Especially about Haaland.
Some would say that, but I
But
don't think
Haaland's build-up plays fantastic as well. We've not seen him in an Arsenal side that are struggling.
Haaland with his
It's
back
not
to
Haaland's
goal
fault.
and Haaland for encouraging others around him isn't as good as Olivier
I
Giroud.
think it's way better.
No way.
Mate, he's bigger than
forgetting the
Giroud.
1-2s and the
We don't see
forgetting
enough
the
of
goals
it because of the
that
way
Giroud
we
scored.
play. Remember the goal against Arsenal at the
I mean, I'm
Etihad?
sure there's examples of it. I'm sure there's examples of it.
We have got some breaking news coming through.
Oh, man.
That's all right.
Mitrovic has just left Fulham for
Oh,
50
for
million.
the fuck's
That
sake,
you
Elliot.
interrupt
Elliot,
for that.
Elliot, Elliot.
Why do you not? You
Elliot,
got a thing about Fulham.
Send him back to Stoke.
Elliot
man. What's
Hackney.
going on here?
Elliot Hackney's always.
Why is
What kind of ducking is that? Just walk across instead of doing a weird little dinosaur break, like a diplodocus going through.
Why is Elliot?
What was that breaking news?
Elliot, we're in the middle of a proper debate, and Elliot comes in. I need to show you something.
You're
What?
pathetic. Stoke have just scored. All right, Al.
You said Fulham.
Jesus.
Fulham Mitrovic. Yeah, all right. Okay, I'll never forget where I was when I heard the news. JFK, Princess Diana dying. I'll never forget a Mitrovic has gone to Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God! I thought he was going to say something crazy.
I thought something good had happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, someone say manager sacked. That's what I expected.
God,
Premier
you
League
said
manager sacked. To
Mitchell.
interrupt there, Mr. Hackney, that needs to be a Premier League manager who's been sacked after 2 games of the Premier League season. Mitrovic.
Hackney needs booked for that, innit?
Yeah, that's
a
the yellow
booking,
card.
that.
One
That is a
more,
booking.
Hackney.
That is a booking, that.
Jack's sitting there. Jack, one more. You give him a second booking and he walks.
He's got to walk.
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 And he walks.
Oh.
Oh, his ankle's gone over.
It's a clash. It's
No,
accidental.
but it's had a
sore
bad
one.
impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just.
Oh, that's filth as
I
well.
like
Is that
that.
Joe Linton?
Joe Linton.
Fair play to Newcastle because they're going over there and they're letting them know. Listen,
Oh yeah.
But Man City got that in them. Man City got a
Man
real,
City also
real
expect
edge. Yeah, Man City got a real edge in their team.
Joe Linton is. I think he's a peculiar kind of player, ain't he, man? Because he shouldn't be in that midfield really.
his resurgence has been mad, innit?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can think of another example of a player that has been so derided and then so loved.
Okay. I thought he was going to say another player who was a
Change
striker who's going into
position.
midfield. Yeah.
Go on, who that?
Dembele.
Yeah.
And he was the
Dion Dublin went centre back.
Did he?
Dublin.
Yeah, Dion
Yeah.
Dublin played centre
He
back.
was a striker, wasn't he?
He was a striker at Coventry, yeah. But did he end up centre half?
for
Yeah.
a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think Dembele
Paul
was.
Warhurst did that at Sheffield Wednesday. Nobody will know what I'm talking about, but Paul Warhurst went
Remember, he was
centre
one
half,
of the
centre
answers
forward.
in that poll question, wasn't he?
Paul Warhurst, he was, yeah.
Yeah.
4 Pauls have won a league. Paul Warhurst at Blackburn, yeah. But he went centre half, centre forward.
Trying to think of a Chelsea player that moved position that was good.
Not to that extreme.
You're
Centre
gonna be
forward,
here for
centre
a
half.
while. Yeah, centre forward, centre half's a big
Centre
thing.
forward, centre half is extreme.
Yeah.
I can think of examples of players playing. I can think of examples of lots of outfield players.
I remember
playing
we
in goal.
played Bartes up front in a pre-season friendly. That
What,
was
for
funny.
fun though?
Yeah,
As a
it was
wind up.
Funny
Yeah,
that was, yeah. Because he used to love it, didn't he? And apparently, like, pestered Fergie for that.
What, give me a run
trip,
out?
like, "Go on,
I'm
just
good,
stick it
I'm
up
good,
front,
man,
just
I'm
stick it up
good."
front."
Yeah.
And he was doing like Raboni's, like doing all sorts of Cruyff turns and that. Oh.
Mate, could you do that a bit louder, Buvey, off camera? Could you like just make as much noise? Oh look, just cut across the frame.
Jesus.
Jack, you're gonna have
Did
to
it-
sort this bloke
No
out.
attempt at
This bloke is
bending
just he is a
down.
maverick and a madman.
Maverick.
A madman.
Well, there needs to be built a second hole that I can get through.
Can you not just crawl?
No,
Why
got a
not?
bad back.
He wants
You
the
haven't got a bad
second
back.
hole.
You haven't got a
I had
bad
to go to a chiropractor.
You know why you've got a
Actually,
bad
no, you
back?
didn't.
Because
I
you
did.
bend
No, you
down
didn't.
like that when you're walking past the
You're such a
camera.
wind up, you.
No, yeah, that's why you've got a bad back.
you
Because
said-
you turn into Quasimodo to get across the
on the previous stream, you said to me that a certain person hadn't blocked me on Twitter, and I found out they hadn't. They had, okay?
What, they block you?
No, they hadn't blocked me. Okay?
Who?
Buvey, you're
A
in
certain
big trouble.
person.
Who's blocked you? I don't even know what you're talking about. Who
Yeah,
blocked
I
you
don't
on
know what
Twitter?
you're talking about.
I don't know
No,
what you're talking about.
they disproved you, remember? You don't remember that.
No, who?
We said
I
you
need
were the
more
only one
information.
not blocked.
You're a wind up.
I'd have no idea what you're on about. So you've been blocked on Twitter?
No, you were saying that I've been blocked.
No,
on
no,
Twitter
we were
by
saying
someone.
you were the only one not blocked.
You're a weirdo.
You're an
Harvey
idiot.
Barnes.
Harvey Barnes. See, this is what I'm talking about, the depth. You know, at the beginning of this show when I said this is the best Newcastle squad of the Premier League era? Bringing on Barnes, bringing on Wilson. They haven't had players like
They're
this on
bringing
the
on one
bench.
of the most important midfielders in their club history. Longstaff.
Kill for it. Kill for one. Yeah, Booth, just a...
Longstaff's my nickname, you know.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know why.
Because he's
I
tall.
don't want to know why. The name's Longstaff.
Why say that? I'm trying to eat my Twix.
Also,
Yeah, while he was putting a brown Twix into his mouth.
even if you think, even if you're trying to give it the big one, I don't know if a long penis is a good thing or not. Like
Why
really
you reckon
long.
girth is better than length?
I don't think a
Better than
long.
having a short
I don't
one,
think
boys.
anybody. I don't think this is a compliment. He's got a really long penis. That doesn't sound like a compliment to me.
Boys.
They're hating it in the back room.
I was
mate.
using pure euphemisms and Rory's just gone straight in for it.
I'm just not sure it's the compliment you think it is. Even if people do call you long staff, which I don't think they do,
No, they call me Sean.
of the dead.
Oh my god.
Buvey, do you remember the rule about Twix? Don't eat the Twix at the same time. You've literally given me a Twix and then started chomping
My
down.
Twix. You wait for me to finish. You know I like my Twix. You know, man.
Yeah, I can hear.
Mate, you've given me a Twix and then
Starving.
stuck half a bar in your mouth.
Miles, did you just coincidentally turn up with a Twix today?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Or was that because you always see these two?
Nah,
fighting
no,
over-
no.
Every
I like
show,
Twix.
these two share a Twix.
Yeah, it's our like thing.
We got told by the production staff we're not allowed to eat Twix on the stream.
They're not even friends anymore.
What's this, 1930s
They're not even
Italy?
friends. Them fucking production staff.
Yeah, we told our good friends Jack and Elliot. Yeah. Our production staff.
That's ridiculous. My human rights are being removed
Should we
on
start
this
calling
podcast.
them my staff? Just to piss them off.
This is Chairman Mao. It's ridiculous.
Oh, he got a good start. He's got a card already. Elliot.
Has he got a new trim as well, Harvey Barnes?
He's a good player.
I still can't over.
You see that celebration he did to the Newcastle fans, and the guy did it back to him.
The bow and arrow. Yeah. The geezer just
That
threw it
geezer was
back.
so happy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know when you picture a football fan with his shirt off, you think he's going to be big, miserable fella. And he was there doing all this.
Yeah.
Doing balls,
Yeah.
matching them.
He's-
All the
rings. Yeah, he's also the type of bloke that would definitely have the hump with those kind of celebrations
Yeah.
under normal circumstances. But he's involved in it, so he's gone for
But
it.
since Newcastle got taken over,
Yeah.
football was giving him
Yeah,
a new
yeah.
lease of life.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
been a change, man.
Boys, how long do you think it's going to be till Newcastle proper competes and start spending?
I think
Now.
Newcastle could.
Now.
Like when you look at United
Now.
winning
Now.
the league or Newcastle winning the league next, they could easily do it before us.
Well, within 3 seasons.
I'd say
Not
Newcastle.
pre-season.
Newcastle are one of the 4 teams that could potentially win the Premier League this season. I don't think it will, but I don't think it's
Oh, I
crazy
don't agree
to
with
say
that.
No,
I
neither
don't
do
agree with
You
that.
put them ahead of you.
Yeah, by a mile.
Come on,
A
Rory,
mile.
you're bottling it. You're bottling it,
I'm
Rory.
not bottom.
Come on, you can't sign Lavia and
I'm
Casado
not
and tell
bottling
me
it.
and tell me you put this mob in front of you.
Well, but it's a brand new team.
This
What we've
team's
got.
settled as well.
You got a better manager.
We've got a better manager, yeah.
Yeah,
We haven't got better
You
players,
spent.
though.
Yeah, but
Pardon?
We haven't got better players.
Player for
No,
player.
you have.
you got
Come on,
you got
really?
proper players.
I don't think we've.
Oh,
I don't,
that's
go on.
so good by
Oh,
Foden.
last ditch
Giroud would have
tackle.
scored that.
Yeah.
That was so good by Foden.
He would have
you know.
dinked the keeper. I'm telling you, he would have dinked the keeper.
But if you see that relationship's building there, Foden turns, Haaland gets on his bike, finds the pass.
Not a good touch from Haaland. The
Great
touch
tackle.
off his right foot. No, it's a very good tackle, brilliant pass into him. But the touch off his right foot It's not even a. It's not even
You're
going to
bang
be a
on.
corner.
You're
is it?
bang on, and that's why, as a young striker, he has to improve those elements to his game. It's all well and good getting a first time ball in. He's
Is that
he's
not a
hitting
good
things
touch
first
that was
time.
just
Like,
well anticipated by the defender? Because the only thing he had to do was
fuck.
get
no,
it in
his
front
first.
of
We
it.
saw it in the first half.
Botman.
His first touch isn't good enough for the player he is.
No, not generally. I mean, didn't he do the right thing in terms of getting it out of his feet? The only thing was the defender anticipated.
Maybe, yeah,
it
it
well.
might have been good defending.
No, it's a bad touch from Haaland. The reason that the defender could get there was because Haaland made a pig's ear of his
Oh,
touch
yeah.
off his
Boys,
right
Newcastle are playing some good football here. They've just played their way out of
He should have given it there. He should have
foot.
given it
Yeah.
there.
Cut back.
That's
Poor.
poor.
Oh.
Who was that?
That's Almiron.
Almiron, isn't it?
Yeah, he's ponying.
Jack
He's
Grealish was
terrible.
right. Oh, do you think he's going to foul Grealish? He hates him. No, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Love him to do that.
God. Almiron.
We got another super
Yeah.
chat. Got to read it. Fuzzy Fox says,
Come on, then. What are you waiting for?
"You-
Christmas?
You lads are making my night. Cheers for the laughs. Love the show."
Thank you, Fuzzy Fox.
Fuzzy Fox also
he a
says,
Leicester fan?
"Come on, you gooners."
I bet he's a Leicester
Is-
City
Yeah,
fan.
he's
How's he
a-
not
They
a
are
Leicester
winning
fan?
the league.
He has to be.
Oh,
a
he's
Leicester
Arsenal
City
fan,
fan.
isn't it?
He's an Arsenal fan.
Thinks Arsenal win the league. What
Come
an
on,
idiot.
Fuzzy Fox.
Thanks for your super chat.
You've got a good chance of winning it, man.
You've got a good chance. Yeah. I mean, Manchester City have 50.
If Man City don't win the league, it'll be Arsenal. But
I'm upset with
Man
you.
City will win the league. Why?
You had Arsenal 5th.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that.
Hmm.
It's tinted it, isn't it?
Can I get a my bad?
Nah, I'm not saying my bad.
Where did you have him 5th?
You had them
I don't
5th.
know.
You had
That's
Arsenal.
crazy, man.
Oh yeah, I did have him.
You
fifth,
did have
didn't
us
I?
5th.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
screaming at my
That's
TV.
pure bias, man.
Because yeah, what? Fuck us.
No, but look, I think Arsenal will win the league. But Adam's prediction,
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
no,
bro.
it's
biased.
basically saying that I think they're going to capitulate, which I don't think is.
No,
I don't
no.
think it will happen. But I don't think it's crazy to suggest they will.
Rory, you had his team coming second.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. Like,
How
I
can
don't,
you have
We finished third last year. Easy happened.
no,
so if we finish second, where can we go?
But look,
We go down.
I think
Yeah.
Arsenal will win the
that's how
league.
it goes.
That's how it works.
You go
You go up and we come down.
Booth, can you not see a world where Arsenal? I don't think this happens, but it's not lunacy to say Arsenal capitulate.
Nah, of course not.
Pressure could build
Yeah,
up.
but
Few
the-
bad results in the
but
Champions
fifth,
League.
a whole different world.
That's
No, but it's not
capitulation.
that far off.
It's still Champions
It's
League
not
football as well, by the
capitulation.
way.
That's true.
It's not capitulation also.
It's capitulating
Come-
from
come-
winning
No,
the
no.
league.
This
But also,
side
if
is the
Liverpool
standard
get
of a
better,
second.
Chelsea get better.
Yeah, but we've gotten better though, Adam,
Yeah, they
respectively.
Yeah, I don't think Liverpool will finish. I think Arsenal finish top 4.
Yeah.
Liverpool won't anymore.
Oh, okay.
Is
Liverpool
that off the
need a
back of what you've
midfielder.
seen since the season?
Signings.
signings.
So you
Jordan
honestly
Baker.
still believe, going off of what you've seen of your club, you're going to make top 4?
United.
Yeah.
I think we will. Yeah.
No,
We got
way.
more points now than we did last season, by the way.
They started worse last season. Brighton, you got smashed by Brentford 4-0.
That's literally the point I just made.
Yeah, I'm just backing you up, mate, because I'm your mate. I
Well,
back
you just
okay?
wanted to say smashed by
Yeah,
Brentford.
yeah,
That's
smashed
literally
by
the
the-
sentence you
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to
I
say.
didn't, actually.
You squeeze that in every week.
Adam
it's
did
not.
already
That's not on
demonstrate
the
that
bingo
point.
card. That's not on the bingo
You do.
card.
You squeeze smashed by Brentford or a submarine or
Yeah,
a
Yellow
village.
Submarine, yeah.
All the time, bro.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Should we talk about what's happened to Liverpool's recruitment this summer? In my opinion, it's been shocking. They've obviously signed Endo, but for me, Liverpool Football Club...
Well, they brought
so
Endo
much-
back.
They brought in Endo from Stuttgart, of course. 30 years old, experienced Japanese international. Played very well last season for Stuttgart, but is it enough? I don't think it's enough.
Can I
What
just say, you
FSG
know what I
want.
love about football fans?
Yeah.
And I include Manchester United fans in this.
Oh, he's in
We've done it-
Holland.
We've done it a few times. But I love when, like, as a football fan, you're gearing up for all these signings and you're going, yeah, Bale or I don't know, all these big names are running through your head. And then you sign some crap player that you didn't really want. And you start just automatically changing your opinions on it and trying to find ways where this guy actually, it's a great.
No,
I remember we did it with Adrian Igalo. We did it with Vegos. We did, where you go
No,
like,
this makes more
actually,
sense.
yeah.
Actually, this is better.
Boys, I just done it with Havertz.
Yeah.
You did it earlier.
Do you know, obviously Tottenham had a good result today. But do you remember when Tottenham were like, Nagelsmann's a man, Nagelsmann's a man, Nagelsmann's a man? Postecoglou signs, they're like, no, this is even better. This is actually better than Nagelsmann.
Everyone does it.
Yeah, everyone does it. Yeah.
I when Arteta came in, I said, I don't want this Thunderbird running my team. Didn't want him.
Thunderbird.
Not-
Thunderbird. It was Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, it looks like
Thunderbird 1 and all that.
Yeah, good looking guy.
But moving back to Liverpool, is it
What?
does? We're talking about Liverpool's recruitment in the summer, lads. So ultimately, Endo isn't enough, in my opinion. But Endo with another player, does that make it?
Well, they
Still
have
not
signed other
stronger?
players. They signed McAllister, who's a good addition.
And
Obviously,
Szoboszlai.
got sent off. Szoboszlai, I think, is a bit of a question mark. Good footballer, but is he going to settle to the Premier League? All those kind of things.
They
Is
signed
that
a whole
gonna
new
translate?
midfield.
Yeah, definitely.
They've signed.
But
They've
they're
signed
like,
you,
they're
that's
light in the
gonna take time to
defensive.
settle.
They're light where Fabinho and Henderson used to play a little bit, aren't they?
But you know what? I
In
think
the
they've lost a
defensive
lot
part
of
of
as
midfield.
well.
Foden.
This Liverpool team. Good
was-
save by Pope.
was the wrong
This
pass,
Liverpool
really.
team have lost a lot of that dressing room experience, that expertise, that know-how. Henderson, Milner, Firmino, Mane's left recently. Fabinho,
Naby Keita.
less so, but again, still.
They would
still part of the
like
squad.
Naby Keita now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Just
He's
that
fit.
experience.
Do you
in
think
the
they
midfield.
would have sold Keita if they
I think
foresaw what was happening?
You know
I don't
the
think
6
so.
players that left. I think individually, if you explore any one of those 6 players leaving, and I went Henderson's leaving this summer, you go okay, that's fine. Fabinho's leaving, okay, a bit weird, but fine. I think you can make it work for any of them, not all of them.
No.
Yeah.
Like any one on its own, Milner's going to go Brighton. Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet man.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, good for
We're all
Bruno, yeah.
But you can't demolish, and that's effectively what's happened. It's been a demolition job on that midfield.
Yeah, they've
but you
killed-
can't demolish a midfield
They've taken a
in one
spine out.
summer.
But my only argument for the positives of that was, ambitious recruitment. When they were linked to Caicedo, I thought it was absolutely fantastic what they needed. They've been absolutely done by Chelsea with Lavia and Caicedo.
thing was, bro-
They needed extra people. Now, Endo is a decent squad option, but they need someone. They need to be ambitious. They were linked to Jude Bellingham. It failed. Tchouameni. It failed.
They've ended up
Liverpool
spending that money
deserves
as well,
slightly
though.
better. Jurgen Klopp as a manager deserves so much more.
I think you have seen, though, a huge change in the way they've done their recruitment. That Michael Edwards left, a few other people have left at the club. And if you remember at the time when they signed Salah, like, Klopp didn't want Salah. I think he wanted Marco Reus or Brandt or someone else from Germany. And Michael Edwards was like, nah, this is the guy you want for your tactics. He's perfect for you. And I think they've lost a few people, key players that were within the club. And now they're relying on others. And if you look at the way they previously, Liverpool have targeted players. They've negotiated behind the closed doors and they've got them at reasonable deals. Now you're not seeing that happen. And you look at the way they tried to do the Caicedo deal. You're offering all that money without actually knowing if the player wanted to join your club. How far had he gone down the line with Chelsea? They didn't really know. So I think what you're seeing is a big change behind the closed doors as well as on the pitch, where you're losing all these key experienced players. Their recruitment style has changed, and who's pulling those strings and who's trying to make those things happen has changed. They should have made Lavia think, you're our number one choice, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
And why couldn't they bid 70 million? Why have Chelsea managed to get him
didn't
for a
have to bid
fee?
50 million.
But Chelsea have got, what have Chelsea got him for? 50 million quid. He's worth 60 mil for Liverpool. He's probably worth 80 mil for them.
The other thing that they could have done, and they certainly should have done, is you could have got Caicedo, and Chelsea made the same mistake. You could have got Caicedo at any point over the summer for 100. Just go and do it.
Do you think they weren't expecting the interest from Saudi Arabia? As football fans,
They
weren't.
got an additional 55 million quid.
We were surprised
But
Henderson is in Saudi
Do you know
Arabia.
the other thing that they should have done? Jude Bellingham. Do you remember all the conversations, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Bellingham, like on England duty, talking to one another? It felt like Bellingham and Liverpool was a real thing. The previous summer, it was Tchouaméni. They missed out on Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni chose Madrid at the 11th hour. The following year, it's all Bellingham, Bellingham, Bellingham. Suddenly, they discount themselves from Bellingham. Then they find 100 million quid for Caicedo. You could have got Bellingham for that.
Yeah, definitely.
So they've missed Tchouaméni, they've missed
But I
Bellingham.
think it was because Henderson and
Yeah,
Fabinho's
but it doesn't
exit weren't planned.
Exactly. So they got an additional 55 million quid that they didn't expect.
Yeah.
But they've got the money. FSG, I know they're a sports group and they want to profit, but they could have the money. And if they'd bid the 100 million quid for Jude Bellingham, they might have got him. If they had bid again for Tchouaméni, particularly with these Mbappe conversations going on, maybe you get Tchouaméni, maybe you get Camavinga. They weren't ambitious enough, and then they waited rather than going for Caicedo early for the 100.
Yeah, 100%.
So
100%.
do you guys think it was Klopp's idea to get rid of all these players at one time, or was it the club saying to him,
I think some of
them.
them were circumstances like Fabinho, Henderson. You can't stop.
You can't predict
It's like
that
with us at
coming
the
in.
moment. We heard Saudi Arabia want Varane. We're hoping they don't really want him because if they bid for him, it's like, all right, you're not going to prevent someone from doubling their wages, and I don't think you can stand in their way. So it becomes one of those decisions where you have to let them go. But I just think they haven't prepared for those departures, and that could be part of like FSG's model and what they're doing and all those things. But when you've got Jurgen Klopp, who we all argue different things, I don't know, but most of us think he's one of, if not pound for pound, the best manager in the league. You have to, make hay while the sun's shining. I don't think they're doing
I
that.
wonder if it will prang him out a little bit and just think I don't want to stay here anymore. I want to go somewhere with real ambition, or maybe the German international side.
It's
I think he'll be
unsustainable.
frustrated.
Yeah, it's just about
this feels like Ferguson at the back end of Man United when he's doing Moneyball. It's
I
ridiculous.
think it's unsustainable to expect Jurgen Klopp to constantly turn water into wine. Like, you can't constantly sign players who are slightly underwhelming when they arrive. Like, well, whatever you think of McAllister, it's not Jude Bellingham. Whatever you think of Szoboszlai, it's not Tchouaméni. Whatever you think of this Endo, it's not
Do you remember
Caicedo.
Arthur last season?
Arthur Melo,
he
wasn't
didn't
it?
play.
From you,
Yeah.
I mean, that was awful.
Yeah.
Even Thiago.
Stopgap.
Thiago's been
Thiago hasn't
very
worked at
underwhelming.
all, yeah. So look, when these players arrive, you can't Jurgen Klopp cannot constantly polish players to turn them into the best in the world.
Especially in this day and age of the Premier
Plus, the
League.
club will come in and say, do it for us, and we'll give you 250 million quid. Real Madrid, why not Real Madrid come in for him?
Do you think though?
Klopp
Do you know
does seem
what
to
I think this season though? I think this season
Important.
they're gonna. The reason I think they'll be okay. Wilson's 1-on-1 here.
Oh, what a
Heavy
challenge that
touch
is.
that was.
Good challenge there.
Who's that? Back stick. Look at him.
He's gonna shoot. Poor shot.
That was Gvardiol. What a challenge
I
from
think
Gvardiol.
whatever happens, Liverpool will be okay. Depending on your definition of okay. I think Liverpool will be okay simply because they have enough
Up front.
goals. Just goals in the team. They will
But is that
score enough.
sustainable though, Rory? Because in this Premier League, you can't always outscore teams, man. And if teams are just bypassing your midfield and going straight to your defence,
It's a problem when they play you and Chelsea and Man City. It's a problem then.
Possession
But
based
you know when they're playing Bournemouth, they're gonna just the firepower. You know when it's Diaz and Nunes and Salah and Jota and whatever else, they're just gonna concede. So I think that Liverpool will manage to accrue enough points. It's just God, that's a
lot
tackle.
depends on. We've had a few comments as well mentioning Szoboszlai was good today because I said there were question marks here. Question marks on how he does over the whole season. I think obviously people understand he can have a good game and whatever. The start of the campaign. If they do settle though, and let's say the midfield does click and Szoboszlai, McAllister become the next big thing, then they've got the front three where you could see potentially them doing well in the Champions League or Premier League. It's just you're relying on a lot of things clicking in that midfield.
Definitely. And also, you got to remember that they got Gakpo playing in the midfield. That they need to get him out of there ASAP because obviously they had a great result against Bournemouth today, but he is not a midfielder.
They're so open. It's crazy.
So
It's
open.
criminal.
And that was against, and they was
Bournemouth
getting
look good
exposed against the Chelsea team that even have a midfield themselves.
Do you think that Klopp's motivation? Do you know what it reminded me of? Does this make any sense, or is this completely incorrect? I remember when Chelsea, Mourinho, right, desperately wanted. Do you remember that Tel Ben Haim? Chelsea really for not for much money, $500,000 or something. Chelsea really wanted him, and for some reason Chelsea just weren't doing it. They weren't giving Mourinho the player that he felt like he needed just to ease us over a period of injuries.
Yeah.
So do you know what Mourinho did? We went away to Anfield. I remember it. I was up there, right? Pennant scored a blinding goal for them. He played centre half. Paulo Ferreira and Michael Essien. Just to say to the board, if you're not going to give me defenders, watch this.
All right,
I'll
cool.
play this. This is
Do
what I'm
you
going to play.
think that Klopp played Gakpo there and just kind of went, this is what you're making me do?
No.
No.
I think he's
There's
trying,
no one else.
he's
There's no one
trying
else.
things out.
But not as a message, as a
I
genuine
also think
experiment.
Gakpo looks like he could work there because
Yeah.
he's quite tall, quite physical. He runs with the ball well. So you could see him like picking the ball up as an 8, turning and pushing into midfield. Plus, we've seen teams when they play at home nowadays, it's like used like with Havertz. You can get away with Havertz maybe in the midfield free at the Emirates because you've got 75% possession most of the time and your defence is playing. And maybe you can get away with him then. But going away from home,
Yeah.
you try Hakpo then, and then you try Havertz then. It's probably
I don't want to see Havertz nowhere near in the 8 at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. Where
Etihad.
Etihad, yeah.
Man,
I agree
Man
with that.
City.
But I just
Man
don't
United.
know what I
No
think
way.
about Liverpool. You know, it's so funny, isn't it? You know, when you do your predictions before a ball's been kicked, the season is now, for some teams, 2 games old, for some others, 1 game old. And it's kind of all not necessarily totally changed, but you're suddenly, like, I thought Liverpool were going to be a challenger.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
now I'm thinking, okay, they're not. I thought Man United were going to be better. And I'm kind of now thinking they're not.
Especially with their especially when they got McAllister through the door early doors for the price they got him for as well. I was like, okay,
And
Liverpool's-
Szoboszlai. Everyone
and
thought,
Szoboszlai.
all right, now they're going to get Lavia.
yeah,
And Jesus,
or
what a
Casado.
summer.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought Chelsea
But-
were going to be a lot low. You know, I had Chelsea 5th in my predictions before the season, I think. And I'm now looking at it thinking, I don't know.
So what are they? Because a lot of us expected Liverpool to potentially make a challenge.
Yes.
Are we?
No, not
is
a
it
challenge
too
for
early
the
to
league
change
anyway.
that now? Because look, I get a bit frustrated when people talk about United. They're saying, look, I know we've lost today, but it's like, oh, we played badly against Wolves. Oh, our season's over. Like, you know,
Nah, season's not over.
like people overreact a little bit.
No, but the
early
reason
on.
why it's not an overreaction is because of the levels. So you know when people go, Liverpool had a bad result at Stamford Bridge and maybe they won't win the league or whatever. The reason that you can say that is because to win the league now, the days are gone where you could drop. I don't know. Man United won the league. They lost 7 games, 8 games. Those days are so gone.
Come on, man. We drove 12 games as invisible.
Yeah, like
Drew 12.
yeah, exactly.
You can't do
exactly.
that.
You
12
can't.
games, you'd probably be 10th in this league.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why, because the margins are so small. So when you see teams who maybe look a little bit off it, or they don't sign a player that they should sign, or somebody else signs a player that maybe they shouldn't sign that works out for them, you're like, these are the margins that like totally change the league.
Van
game.
Dijk winning Liverpool the league, Van Persie
Liverpool-
winning Man
I mean,
United
exactly,
the league.
exactly.
We do say that, and we know. Look, City's relentless. The amount of points they got, 89, a massive amount. They did lose 5 games.
Yeah, they
Do you know
did,
what
but
I
it
mean?
was the year they won the treble. So let's say they don't win a treble again because it's mental that they ever won a treble. You add another. They go out to Champions League in the quarterfinals. You add another 6 points onto that tally. If
No,
they're
I
not
hear
in the
you, but
Euro.
I'm just saying, like,
They lost 5 games last season.
yeah, losing
but
5
you got,
games.
but they
are
won
right.
a treble.
But
you
they
got-
won 28. That's the problem.
Yeah, but also you got to remember who was chasing them and who they was chasing down. Arsenal. If they lose 5 games against a
Yeah,
top,
Klopp,
a
yeah,
thick
We
Klopp
wouldn't have
teams,
because I think that the pressure was on us so much.
that's
With
what I'm saying.
Arsenal, you melted away a little bit. And
yeah, you could afford to lose those
yeah.
5 games.
Yeah, also City last year didn't win. Let me say this because it sounds ridiculous. City didn't win the league in the year that in the way that they won it. The year Vincent Kompany scored that goal. Southampton were going away to West Ham for Arsenal.
Liverpool away.
Liverpool away. They were the moments where the season turned.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Man City's brilliance. Obviously, Man City needed to be there waiting. But ultimately, and this is ridiculous.
We lost
Arsenal were top for so long, but City won the league with games to spare.
Yeah. When we drew to Southampton 3-3, we lost the league there.
Yeah. Or do you know where else? If I were to pinpoint it, Saka's penalty at Upton Park, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Saka's penalty there.
Big miss.
That puts Arsenal 3-1 up.
Mahrez would have scored that.
Actually, wouldn't, mate.
I mean,
He
you
wouldn't.
he missed the big one.
Mahrez at
There's so
penalty.
many
No, he
penalties.
wouldn't. Yeah.
You should see the
Mahrez
picture we
is-
got a Buvey
Yeah.
because of Mahrez missing the
Boys,
penalty.
Why do you keep bringing that
just
up?
go, just keep
Fucking hell, man. Sorry.
Boo, Thunder Fires, bring him in. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, sorry.
All right, yeah, keep the camera on Miles while he's getting out of his seat. Well done, lads. Production staff's had a day off.
Production staff.
Yeah.
Mate, we got
What is going on with the production staff?
Myron's won a corner off
Newcastle-
Jack Grealish. He'll put
Newcastle
that in
in
the
this
trophy
half.
cabinet.
What? There's been.
There we go. Look at that skills
Look
from
at that,
Miles. You
look
see
at
that, Buvey?
He's on
That's
all
called
fours.
respect there.
He's got a good back. I got a bad back.
You haven't got a
I
bad.
had to go to a chiropractor.
Sit down then and stop hunching over like Quasimodo. Yeah, he's going to ring the bells in Notre Dame.
Newcastle have been playing very well in this second half, and you could argue if they had been a little bit more clinical in the final third.
Maybe, but Haaland's missed a lot of chances. As much as you could say Newcastle needed to be more clinical, Haaland's missed 3.
In this half. They missed 2 big ones in this half, haven't they? But I think Newcastle, my point was Newcastle have been the team knocking at the moment. Like they haven't gone into their shells. They haven't thought, let's just sit on a 1-0 defeat.
No. And also, the way that you lose games, particularly for Newcastle, the manner of a defeat is very important. Going there and getting beaten 3-0 is very different to going there and losing 1-0 in a tight game.
No, they're leaving a lot of men forward as well, you know.
Many men.
I rate it.
Yeah, they're up for the victory. Like, they're here for the victory, aren't they? Like
they're here for something. Brave.
Oh, Grealish on Almiron. This is becoming a thing. Grealish on Almiron. He's not having it. This is great. I love these little battles, man. Love it.
You leave a bit in there, don't you?
I think Grealish is hard as well. I don't think people think he's hard. Do you think so? Yeah, I do.
You have to be to get chopped up.
No, but I think he'd like...
And shrug it
I think he'd be game as well. Like,
I
don't think he'd be bullied.
Of course.
But he's one of these players. He's played in lower league as well. He got punched in the face by a Birmingham City fan. He's been for his little lower league moments.
You know, he died.
County. Has he passed away?
You know, he died. The fella that ran on and hit Grealish died.
But with Grealish, some players don't ever play in the Championship. Some footballers never play in League 2 with Notts County.
Oh, well played, Foden. Fantastic.
I think Foden's been.
He's rapid, Foden. No, he's been fantastic, Foden. He really has. He's rapid, isn't he?
Smart now. He'll do something smart with it now.
Look, that's how you do it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how you do it, Booth.
See that, Buvey? You can learn from Miles.
For God's sake,
man.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
You can learn a lot.
All right. Sorry,
He teaches you many things. Etiquette, football knowledge.
Who does?
And how to get on all fours.
Etiquette.
What, bringing Twixes and all
If
that?
he got on all fours in
He
them
brings more
shorts,
Twixes than you idiots. Why don't you reach into your wallet and buy me a Twix? Yeah,
No, because
it's been nearly a year, by the way.
It's our
8 months.
thing.
Thanks a lot.
It's our thing.
It's your thing because you benefit from
is this
free
Buvey?
I
Twix.
haven't eaten.
Is this movie, Mr. No Round over here?
I'm always on the rounds of Twixes. I don't get around back from you lot.
I've never had a Twix off you.
I did.
Do you know why he likes that seat in this studio? Because it's the furthest from the bar in the pub over the road.
Oh, Buvey. You're one of those guys. You don't get the rounds, Buvey. At least one.
Of course I get the round. I don't know what everyone Twixes. I'm giving everyone Twixes.
This geezer's got the deepest pockets and the shortest arms in the world.
He'll get the last round. That's him. I'll get the last one.
I get the last one.
And then he's in his taxi when
got
it's
a penny
time.
to rub together, lads. You know how expensive London is to live in.
Bro, you
It's
just quit.
expensive.
You just quit your day job, bro. You're balling these days.
No, I didn't.
No, you
How
are
do know
made of
that?
money. You are
don't know
Mr. You are
anything.
Mr. Made
What,
of
you
money.
follow me on LinkedIn? What are you on LinkedIn? Stalking me
You
on
are one of
LinkedIn.
them LinkedIn
Adam
wankers, aren't
McKola's viewed your profile. Thanks a lot, mate.
I don't have a LinkedIn.
Don't worry, Buvey. I get the
It's for
same. I get the same
tossers.
stick on my show, man.
It's
I
hard,
get the
man.
same
It's
stick.
hard. My LinkedIn's popping at the moment, mate. It's unbelievable.
What is it?
You find
You on
birds
there,
on
yeah?
there.
LinkedIn Gold.
What are you called on there?
Lawrence Bury.
No, but what are you like? Because you put a job title, don't you?
Yeah, entertainer.
Entertainer.
Entertainer. Well, like children, like the kids doing the balloons at kids' parties. Yeah, you make a poodle out of a balloon.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, how you're not an entertainer, bro?
Is this not my
I entertain football audiences on YouTube.
We are professional club
Audiences
shites,
that are
isn't it?
brought to you by Super 6, by the way. So thank you so much to Super 6 for backing the channel. If you haven't already joined our mini league on the app, it's Club 23 on the Super 6 app.
Yes.
Thank you very
Please
much.
make sure that you sign
That's
up
class.
to our mini league. You download the Super 6 app totally and utterly for free, and then you join Club 23. Won't cost you a penny. You could win some money. You massively help us out. You support the show, and it would be our honour to welcome you into our mini league. So please do it now. We have nearly managed to secure a K in a day, which is
No,
a
we
PB
already
for
secured
us.
that. We secured that.
Which is a PB for us.
That's a
We love
PB.
that.
yeah.
What's the
That's
closest you've come to Super 6? Is that?
I'm the
I
best.
had
at it.
12 points once, I think.
I won our league last year.
Oh,
I have us three. I'm the king.
No, you didn't, did he?
Did he?
Yes, I did. I was Jack Brain in the studio.
Did he?
Cut
Did he, Jack?
to Elliot. Elliot, yes, I did. No, Elliot's trying.
Listen, I don't know about
Why can't
that.
I hear anything?
Elliot knows I did.
Production crew, I can't hear anything, lads. What
Production
actually
crew.
happened? Well, they are, on LinkedIn,
finished,
they're
out
production
of us three,
crew.
I finished top.
Why are you lying?
It's not a lie.
What's
It's
the point?
100% true.
It's a Saturday
You were meant
night.
to take me for dinner.
It's a Saturday night rather
You
than
were meant
laugh.
to
Why
take
are
me
you
for
lying
dinner.
to your
Oh,
mates on a
we
Saturday
have
night?
to, when we're in Barcelona next week, we have to stitch this geezer up.
Yeah.
You have to stitch.
Giving-
I'm not
giving
coming out
the
the
I'm
bill.
getting
I'm not coming
bottle
out the hotel
service,
room.
everything,
Yeah.
and you're getting the
Yeah,
check.
I'm not coming out of the
He'll
hotel
be
room.
doing the dishes. He'll be doing the dishes rather than put his hand in his pocket. He'll clean the dishes.
I'm
You got your
I'm not
your
coming out
hands
of the
on
hotel
this
room.
movie,
The
man.
amount of stuff
No.
I get, you're going to be there getting a massage in the corner. I'm going to go bottle service on him.
You won't find me. I'm doing all the touristy stuff in Barcelona. You won't find me, lads.
Oh yeah, sure.
Why don't you get a cable car?
Picasso and all
Would
that.
you get on a cable car?
That's fantastic. I've been on that with you. I know you two.
Yeah, we did that.
We're,
It was fun.
we're
What, have you
filming
been
a
to
fantastic.
Barcelona
Yeah, we
before?
were last summer.
No, don't do it.
Ah,
Don't do it. Yeah, can't
Fantastic.
wait anyway.
I love it. It's
Should be-
great
yeah,
city.
no, it should be good fun.
you're not scared of heights?
No.
I am. You know when them things start rocking, these that were rocking it.
Oh,
That's
Oh, yeah, I
He's-
was jumping up and down.
I don't
He was
like-
jumping in
he
it.
was-
He was
yeah.
crying.
I don't like people like that.
Yeah, I don't
He was
like.
crying.
Why do
I
you
don't
do
want to
that,
die
Buvey,
doing
man?
something stupid.
You can do that. It doesn't.
You
You're not
can't.
going to die. It's built to last, isn't it?
It's built to last.
It's
Nah,
built for
bro.
that.
I don't want to die like doing something that I
You was one of those people
No,
who used to jump in
like on a
lifts.
roller
It's a very,
coaster.
it's a very dumb.
Yeah.
I went on a roller coaster yesterday, but it's a very dumb thing to do because they're safe. I'm not, do you know who I don't understand in the whole of the world, like in society? Thrill seekers.
Yeah.
You know geezers who climb buildings on the edge and stuff like that.
With no safety harness.
Oh, did you see that guy at
Do you know where I would never die?
Grand Canyon?
Going to see the Titanic.
Yeah.
I would never die doing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because I would never do that because I'm not mental.
Do you remember the
Facts.
Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video of the Grand Canyon? There's a guy. There's like a gate there, and this guy's missus is recording him, obviously, and then he runs over to the thing and like flips over the edge, but his feet give way, and so like he slips, but he's right on the edge of, and it's like, bruv,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? What,
Yeah.
what's
Go and
the
sit-
whole
Have you never
point?
heard of Nikki
Who are you
Beach Marbella?
impressing?
Go there. It's way better. What are you doing?
That is a
Yeah,
thrill.
man.
You got lovely sushi there.
Go
Just
to
have-
Western Superman and put some 10p pieces in the machine.
Oh, yeah, in the penny
Penny
arcade.
machine,
Yeah.
No, I don't understand.
Watch the 2Ps just come off the edge.
Yeah.
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 Good game.
I
man.
can
Satisfying,
give that. I can give that a
Yeah,
little.
but they
nudge. I
rig
can
it by
get that.
super gluing the ones at the
No,
top.
yeah.
They do.
They do.
Oh, is it?
They're all rigging
Give them a little bit of a bang.
Yeah, you give
They
them
got an
a bang.
iPhone 6 there sitting there. Like, do you know what I mean? Of course they're rigging it.
I
2p.
Yeah, I don't understand thrill seekers. It's just not
Yeah,
for
it's
me at all.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no.
not for me.
I seen someone having dinner like suspended between two mountains.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
like the
People are
table
insane,
was,
though.
like, it was like,
It's
man,
Just to
Rocket-
say,
it's rocking
I
all
done
To
that.
do what?
Yeah, just to say I done that.
I'm the
For
kind of geezer,
Instagram and
you
all
know
that.
when I'm eating, food flies off the plate. Now
Yeah.
you just like,
Yeah.
It just
shit.
gets
Not for me.
roller coasters is most exciting it gets for me, boys, and that's it.
Yeah.
What road? Like,
I went on the Nemesis yesterday. at
see, I
Brook
don't
Park.
do stuff
Oh,
like
that's a good. That's a
Good
good.
ride. It's a good ride.
ride.
It was good. Do you know?
Why does the Nemesis remind me of In Between Us?
Don't know.
There's a line that
No idea.
involves the Nemesis.
Don't know. You got to know it. You know, if you're going to bring it up, you've got to know the
Yeah, you
story.
can't
No, no,
ask
no,
us to
that's how-
fulfill your
that's
I
what
was,
story.
I've
I was
yeah.
hoping
Yeah,
one
great.
of these
Yeah,
lot
but if you don't know
Can't
the
tell you,
story,
that's not very
and now-
entertaining,
now
is it,
what's
Adam?
gonna happen?
That's
Now he's
lazy
going to Google
entertainment.
it. Now he's going to Google
That's
it.
not very
And then he's out the
entertaining.
show for a bit.
What's on your LinkedIn
Google
profile?
all between
I don't have a
us,
LinkedIn because I'm not a tosser.
Biggest bore fest going in football media.
I'm
as
not a
opposed to
tosser.
being an entertainer.
Apart from, yeah,
What's
I'm not
on
an
yours, Roy?
entertainer.
Getting picked up by Ian Beale in 2004, getting thrown around.
2008. Everything else is true.
and hammering Patrick Truman.
Yeah.
Nah, don't slag off Patrick, man. He's a
Patrick
legend,
Truman.
man.
He didn't
He's
get
a
slagged
legend.
off. He got done though.
He done him in.
Done him over.
That's crazy, man.
You know that's.
Rory
I
was
think
rolling
he's
around
from
with a
Bristol.
strap
I
and
think he's from
everything, you know. He had a gun. He had Lucy Beale on his
Was it a
arm.
water gun? Like, was it a
It's
prop gun?
man. You know,
Yeah, but
you know that meme of Patrick Truman going into the show.
Yeah, but I know in the
Me.
show it was a real gun.
Was
but
that
was
him?
it a prop gun?
yeah.
with a hammer, bro.
Yeah. That's a
That was
rob.
poor acting.
That's a rob. Yeah, when he went over like that.
In installments.
Lovely bloke.
Oh god.
He's from Holston.
Huh?
He's from Holston. Rudolph, his name is.
Oh, yeah,
Patrick
Truman.
Truman.
Patrick.
He's a legend, he is, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah,
what are your-
Everyone watching the show was wondering, where's Patrick Truman from? The answer is Jubilee Clock, Holston.
He's a
What are your hopes for the season as an Arsenal fan, Miles? Especially with Arteta, because
realistically.
it's the fourth. Is it the fourth season now? Fourth full season.
3.5?
Of our
3.5 full
3.5.
seasons.
3.5.
3.5.
He's spent a lot. He spent a lot of money,
Decent amount.
but last season you had some returns. You know, you challenged for the league title and stuff. Now there's naysayers like me that will go, he ain't doing it again. But
What challenge?
yeah, but
Okay.
you have brought in great signings. Declan Rice, one of the signings of the summer. Timber, it's a shame he's injured. Otherwise, would have been a fantastic signing. Who else did you bring in?
Timber, Havertz, and Rice, and Raya.
Raya and obviously
Raya,
Havertz.
right.
I think Raya's a great one, especially because you got him on loan as well.
Yeah.
But how do you? What are the goals? What are the objectives? And what would you be disappointed if you didn't see from Arsenal?
Okay. The goals. The goals for me as an Arsenal fan is to obviously compete and push for the league again. Obviously, Man City's going to be there, so whoever it might be, a third party, Liverpool, Chelsea, whoever it is, but we've got to compete and we've got to stay in and around the league until we got to get into like the last 5 games again. I don't want us to be competing for top 4 or we're trying to get back into Champions League or fighting for Europe. So if we're doing that, that's a failure. As regarding when it comes to silverware, I want us to win a trophy. And when I say a trophy, for me, if we came top 4 and won the Carling Cup or the Carabao Cup, for me, that's a failure. For me.
A failure?
Yeah, for me
Oh,
personally.
gosh,
Oh, I thought
I've
you were
read
gonna
that
say-
guy in a different
Yeah,
way.
I thought you were going to say it's a success.
Yeah, no, that's a
So
failure.
what is a success? Minimum success.
Minimum success is win a trophy. I think this Arsenal team needs to win a trophy now. And
But there are different trophies.
But you've just said
FA Cup?
Carabao Cup isn't success.
the bare minimum for me, if I deem as a success for Arteta and these group of lads, is the FA Cup and compete for the Premier League. That's the bare minimum.
So coming second again and winning one FA
No,
Cup.
I want to try to win the league, obviously, but
Yeah.
we need to compete. We need to push you to the limit because we've gotten better, we've gotten stronger, and we've shown that we can do it. But
I think you've got to start. You've got to start aiming bigger because eventually these
Yeah, but you're
proper
still the
players
best
will
team in the
get
world.
picked off, and you can be the biggest club in the world.
No,
Or
you're still the best
United
team in the
style
world.
players, Real Madrid. You can always lose players. So this Saka can go. Saliba might want to go back to go to PSG or go to Real
But
Madrid.
they've all signed
So
contracts.
it's all well and good saying, oh, maybe in 5 years we'll win the Premier League. Eventually, you
No,
get
I said
picked off.
this year, Buvey. Obviously, I want us to challenge.
Yeah,
and go
but I
for
don't
the
think.
league.
But I'm just. My point is, I don't think you will win the Premier League this season.
I
I
said-
don't think the club's done enough to get you there.
And that's why I said, okay, if we don't win the Premier League, I want us to win the bare minimum is a FA Cup. Go push for the FA Cup. Try get to the semi-finals in the Champions League. If not, win it miraculously. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
can happen. No reason why
You've
it
won
can't
a cup. You've won a cup.
And then
you won
I'll be
FA
happy
Cup.
with that. But I need to see some form of progression. I don't want to see us go backwards.
I'm surprised that you said 4th and a League Cup would be a failure.
It would be
It'd feel like.
it'd be very underwhelming for my team for where we
I'm
are.
really surprised by that.
Where we are.
The lack of silverware at Arsenal has been a little bit too long, hasn't it?
Well, we won the FA Cup like 3 years ago, and it has been.
But that wasn't Arteta's team. Like,
No,
you know
no,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's
But he
built
still
this
won it,
team.
though.
No, he did win it. No, but my point is, he never won that trophy after he spent all that money.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
given all the windows he's had, this is now his team. Like, the pressure should be on now. To
It'd be
deliver
nice for him
trophy.
as a manager to pick up another silverware, or even for these young boys to pick up some more silverware to get that winning mentality. But for me as a fan, and I'm not trying to sound like snobbish or I personally don't really care or rate about the Carabao Cup. If they got rid of
No,
that
it's not.
competition
You don't know
tomorrow,
anything.
No,
You don't know anything.
But I do. I know.
No, I mean in the sense, I don't think you learn anything of how to win the Premier League. I don't think it takes you
I
on.
thought you
I don't
were
think.
talking
Yeah, you don't know anything.
No,
I thought
sorry.
you looked
No,
at Miles and went, you don't know anything.
no,
I
sorry.
was like,
No,
bit
I meant the
you've been
Arsenal.
kind enough to come on our show.
No, I mean the Arsenal players wouldn't learn anything by winning the League Cup of how to win the Premier League.
just give them a bit more
I don't think you would. I don't
motivation.
think you
or
would.
I
just to
really-
kick
I
on
really-
the
It
rest.
I
would
really
teach you how to
disagree.
deal with pressure.
I think the biggest game. I think what
Bruce,
they've
think
got.
about
Their biggest
Mourinho.
games is this season, in my opinion. Sorry, the biggest games this season. Beating City in a league game.
No, it's not.
Beating City.
Beating
You
you.
didn't beat us last season.
That
would be a massive
Buvey,
hurdle
just
to
think
get
of-
over.
Can I just put forward Jose
That's
Mourinho's
ridiculous.
approach to the League Cup? Everything you said, he massively disagreed with. Mourinho's approach was win the League Cup. The League Cup whets your appetite to win more trophies. It gives you the winning mentality. It's silverware. It is an experience for your players. And if you look at
It's a fine example.
If you look at the team that wins the League Cup, generally speaking, overall, they probably win another trophy. So Mourinho wins a League Cup.
Yeah,
There are obvious examples, but Mourinho wins a League Cup, he goes on to win the league. Mourinho wins the League Cup, he goes on to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's a
Chelsea
booster.
win the like. Chances are, if you win it, it's a good
But
thing. And
the
you do
Mourinho
learn
bounce
more.
was. But Mourinho learned how to win in England against Man United, if I'm correct, in his first season in the League Cup final. Who was it against? Sorry,
We beat Liverpool.
Liverpool. Sorry,
Yeah, Gerrard
So he
scored an
learned
own goal.
because it was his first season. I mean,
Matthias
this is fifth season for Arteta.
He was so good before he came to you. Sorry, random.
Matthias Desmond.
He just.
I don't think you go back and win a League Cup when you've already won the FA Cup for Arsenal with the same group, with a similar group of players, and then you spend a load of money, you spend hundreds of millions of pounds. I don't think the biggest learning isn't winning the FA Cup against getting past Sheffield United in the semi-finals. It's beating City at the Etihad.
No, it's
beating City at the Emirates. You didn't beat us in three
City at
games.
Etihad is
Trophy-
it's bigger than
trophies,
winning a
everything.
trophy.
No, I'm not saying it's bigger. I'm not trying to say that. Of course,
I'd rather play
can I-
Sheffield
can I
all
at least
day in
just
the
say the
final.
point. My only
win a
point
trophy,
is that in progress to winning the Premier League, where Arsenal have to be, you're one of the biggest clubs in the country. Right?
I'll tell you why that's
for a lot of
void,
people,
Buvey.
the
I'll
biggest club in London. For a lot of people, you have to beat the champions. You have to prove that you can beat
For
City.
me, I'll tell you why that's void, because you don't need to beat City to win the league. We can lose to you
If you'd
twice.
beaten us,
and then
you-
But I
if
think
you'd beaten us,
beating
you'd won the
You know,
league.
if you beat them at
Symbolic,
Arsenal, let's say, just it's symbolic, and it's like shows that right, we are as good as them.
I saw an
We don't
amazing
have
stat.
to
You know,
fear them as
Mikel
well.
Arteta was playing for Arsenal the last time they beat City in the league.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, certainly because
Was that when that
Santi Cazorla
He
was
should have squared it to Van Persie and he didn't.
You have to beat the Premier League. You have to beat your rivals. When we beat United 6-1, that was massive. When Conte beat us with Willian and all that, that was massive for Conte to win the league. And then the season after, De Bruyne scored an unbelievable goal on his left foot at Stamford Bridge, and then we won the league. You have to beat.
Yeah, but
that season you didn't beat Man City, and you should have.
Yeah,
really.
but what do you think is success? So what do you think is success for Arsenal this year? I'd say any trophy, European qualification, top tier European qualification, and silverware would be a brilliant season for everybody. That's not just.
But hold on to your Champions League spot and win a cup.
I rate the FA Cup.
Plus, hold on to your Champions League spot and win a cup. That's amazing.
Plus beating City at some point in the season.
Mate, it's not about you. You're irrelevant in this.
We don't care about
Why?
you.
Because
seriously. We don't care
we're
about
the leaders in the Premier.
Beating City.
Because if
you
you
don't think it's important, you didn't think it was important for Man City when we were challenging the season before we won the Premier League, to go on and beat United.
They beat Man City. They're
for Liverpool to beat us in the
favourites to win
Champions League. You have to beat the rivals. You have to beat your rivals.
Because we got Man City in October.
No, my point here is if you can come to beat Man City.
I don't get it.
I don't get why it does. It's just
I think mentally it will.
Because Arsenal compete. All right, maybe City. If we weren't in the title race this season, it's different. But you have to beat the side.
The kind of point I think he's making. Last season, I think Pep was very respectful about Arsenal in the press and stuff like that. But I don't think they ever feared them the same way they feared Liverpool.
They didn't.
Where Liverpool would go there and they could beat them. Liverpool could sometimes twist them up and be 2-3.
I would say
absolute smash.
Look,
I don't think they fear Arsenal. So I kind of get Buvey's point in that sense. If they beat City, suddenly it's a big momentum.
Because Arsenal have to be winning the Premier League. I think the FA Cup's irrelevant.
You beat Man City twice, you could easily lose a league.
But that's not my point.
No, that's not the point he's making.
I'm not saying if they beat City, they'll win the league. I'm saying they need to learn how to beat City, because at the moment they're the only side that can stop Arsenal winning the league is City, in my opinion. Maybe Liverpool, maybe someone else. And then having a good Premier League campaign.
When I said this would be a good season for City, for Arsenal, retaining their Champions League spot and winning a trophy, and you went and beat City.
Yeah.
That's not
throughout the course of the season.
No, I don't put that.
A lot of people agree with Buvey at the moment.
So
on his
they
point.
agree.
I do as well.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to be in the minority.
The best example I can think of is when Conte came to the Etihad. You smashed us on the counter attack. You figured out the back three system. That was a learning. You didn't actually need to beat City with the points that you accrued that season. You didn't need to beat City. So you have to beat the side.
I think that's more of a goal throughout the season, rather than an end goal of the Champions League.
When Liverpool smashed us in the Champions League, we were absolutely got killed. The following seasons, they got on to win the Premier League. So you have to know how to beat these sides.
I don't see it as important.
I don't see it as important.
Like winning a trophy and retaining their... You've made it 3 things. I said 2 things, which is retain Europe and...
I think Buvey's thing is more of a thing of if Arsenal can beat City, which the pressure should be on for you to do, then it will make this team feel a lot better. And I think it makes City respect you a bit more. I think
that's what I'm trying
to make is something on, if you want to really challenge for the league and win the league, come and
That's what I'm trying to say. Arsenal are not Spurs. Arsenal are not even Newcastle. I think that'd be fantastic for them to win the League Cup. They've not won anything in decades.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah.
Your Arsenal Football Club, when I was growing up, you were the 3rd biggest club in the country. You're an institution. You've got fans all over the world, bigger than Man City. What can I say? I'm not disagreeing. Arsenal should not be aiming for a League Cup. You should be aiming to win the Premier League.
I never said I won a League Cup.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying Arsenal fans in general. Arsenal's route to winning the Premier League in the next few years will be understanding how to beat City in big games, in my opinion.
It will be good. It will be good for this young group of boys and this young group of lads, and Arteta as a young manager himself, to get over that hurdle of beating City. Yes, it will be good for them mentally, and it will give them that confidence, saying, "Okay, cool. If we can beat this best team in the world, we can beat the rest." Yes, I agree with that. But I don't think that's on their top agenda. We need to beat City this season to be successful. It doesn't work like that.
It's not as direct as that. I'm not saying it's literally 1-on-1.
Against Man United, we didn't beat
how City can just go and beat Arsenal 3 times out of 3. I think it is mentally that's a big thing. 1-0 to Manchester City in this game. I think Newcastle were excellent in the second half, to be totally honest with you. I think they dominated it maybe in terms of possession. The stats might tell me a liar, but it felt like Newcastle had the majority of the possession. I think City had the better chance.
City
in the
always
second
in
half.
control.
Yeah, in control.
Very good showing from Newcastle.
Pep
good
would be
result
happy with that
City.
result.
Yeah, very good result. A clean sheet as well. And look at the lads' celebrations. Guardiola's going down the tunnel.
Is it that? You see the way City players, and I don't disagree with it, I'm just asking the question. See the way that, look, Haaland and Foden embracing there, like cup final almost. Is it fair to celebrate like that? Is it a 6-pointer already?
I think they fear Newcastle. I think Guardiola really rates Eddie Howe, and I think this Newcastle side is one of the hardest sides that will come to the Etihad this season, and we've dispatched them with ease, with all due respect. They had a few chances, but a clean sheet this early in the season. Burnley away was hard. Newcastle at home was hard. We got 6 points. Look fantastic.
That's a great result for City, because you know what it is as well. City aren't quite there
At the
yet.
races.
You know,
Yeah,
their full flow.
It's a bigger
Newcastle
result
go
for
in there.
City. This.
Yeah,
It's always telling, and it's always good to beat a team like Newcastle at home because you know some point this season they're gonna go to someone else's ground and get a draw.
Yeah.
Or take points of someone else.
Yeah. So you've given yourself that
given
cushion.
yourself, When you beat them kind of teams, because they're going to take points off someone else, regardless.
Yeah. You're right. Newcastle will go and get 3 points at Stamford Bridge or get 3 points at
Even
Arsenal.
a draw. Even a draw.
They just can't do it. You know, I love these things in football, no matter what. And think about it. Over the years, City have had some average teams since 2000. Newcastle just can't get a result away at Man City. They just cannot do it.
I don't think they know how to play
Most
against
teams
us,
can't get a result.
No, but even over the years,
today, though.
even over the years, since 2000.
But this Newcastle side can't go to the Etihad and do a complete low block, play 5 at the back.
That's not
because
what
of the
they were trying.
qualities. No, I know they're not trying that, but that's the only way you're probably going to get a result is a low block. Like Seville got us to penalties and all that. You need a low block against City.
There was a
really,
few
at the Etihad.
moments today where their bravery in terms of stepping up quite high, not really worrying about. There was a big worry, but you know, when Haaland would spin in, they dealt with that quite well, nipped that out rarely, and they were quite high up the pitch a lot of the time. Their defensive line was. I kind of rate that performance. I think it's a good one from them. And when you think of their Champions League coming up, that'll be a big test for them.
Oh,
you know, in terms of gauging, right, how can we get on in our Champions League group? Should we get? They perform like that, they'll go through quite easily. Thank you to Super 6 for sponsoring the club. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Make sure you join our league. The Super 6 Mini League code is Club23. It's been back-to-back live streams today. It's been absolutely amazing to have you guys with us, and it's been amazing to have Miles from Filthy Fellas with us. Make sure you're subscribing to Filthy Fellas. Make sure you check out Mileage UK all over the socials. Get following Miles as well. I'm sure Miles will be back very, very soon. We've got the podcast coming out on Monday. We've got a few weeks coming up, so keep it locked because we've got loads coming your way. Any final words, Rory?
No, I just want to echo that. I think Miles has been a great guest. Thank you so much for coming on. And make sure that you join our Super 6 League. Miles, an honour. Buvey, I'll leave you with the out.
You lost it.
Thanks so much. Make sure you check out my LinkedIn.
No, you can't leave me
I want you to add me on LinkedIn, guys. Add me on LinkedIn. Super 6, we're over, 8,200? 100?
One more K.
I've not been given the number, but thank you for everyone who's joined. It's Club23 on the Super 6 app.
Thank you.